We are on a podcast.
And let me get to those yams.
We're back.
Right?
Let me get to those yams.
Yams.
This episode is part 2 of episode 2. The subject is project partners. What happens in this episode? Mose partners with the idiot hottie Seth Powers, basketball king. Ned and Cookie, the alternative family with their baby. They struggle to get their baby back from Loomer, who's holding the baby hostage so that he can be your partner because Loomer loves Mose. And that's about the gist.
So should we go through each of these and unpack them like as you say them?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, I just wanted to give like a little, like, that's the overview. Also, in this episode, we introduce a lot in this episode. Martin Quirley, running character. Meshach, it's
Taylor.
his first time in this episode. Seth Powers, basketball spinning,
crazy ball
the
gag.
basketball gag. Doug Sexy, I forgot about entirely.
Yeah.
The gag of Doug Sexy.
Yep.
The kid in school who's so hot you can't even access him.
Yep.
Because he's just
Too hot.
He's too hot.
Yep.
I forgot about him.
Yep.
We introduced Loomer's softer side. So far, we've only seen him be a maniac.
Right.
But now we learn he loves Mose.
And some of his looks in this are they're just so quintessential and amazing of just like puppy love.
Did he win you over with those looks?
In real life?
In real life, yeah.
No.
Oh no, he's like, no, not at all.
No, Kyle and I were literally always just like, nah.
Homies,
Like,
yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, homies. Yeah, this was fun. I like, again, getting to see these gags again, like really the basketball.
Oh yeah, it
gag.
was huge. People love that one. They always remember that.
Yeah, did
Alex
you
Black.
guys see
Great guy.
Lil Nas X?
Oh yeah, he posted
Halloween
the
costume.
Yeah,
I think
thought
it was
legit.
last year. He
Yeah.
was Seth from Ned's,
It's
dude.
Declassified.
That
I thought it
is
was legit.
So funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny. That's so like niche too. Like he's the right age for it, but like not everyone even knows what
Right.
that is. But that is such a funny choice. He
Yeah.
had the full
It was
the
called
jumpsuit.
classic,
He had the
Perfect.
wolf. Like
That was really cool.
that really
The fact that
made me
meant
happy.
enough for him to choose, hey, this is my costume. Like I was
Yeah.
So funny. Lil Nas X, we love you.
like, turn up. Yeah. Now we
Absolutely.
need
So
sponsors.
much.
Nas.
Yeah.
Find
Get
us
over
some
here,
sponsors.
Lil Nas.
Yeah, get over here, man.
Come on, buddy.
Yeah, what'd you guys feel watching this episode? What came back for you? Cool. Well,
No.
it's been a great pod.
No, Meshach. Obviously, I got to work a lot with. I mean, I think he was one of Jennifer's like primary teachers and mentors in that show, and just getting to work with him and be there. And I love that project partner like opening with the wedding. You know what I mean? You're testing out the different types of project partners.
Yes.
That was so super cute.
Yes.
And honestly, I was surprised. I mean, I remembered that. I just forgot that Mose was not that level-headed. Like, she was boy crazy.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Rough exterior at times. but-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Mose always had like the thing with Mose, she was always like competitive, had good grades, all that stuff. But then when it came to this, you're like, no, he's hot.
And just the fact that there was such an open relationship between friends and it was so normal for us to like talk. I don't know. It seemed like safe and very normal for us, even as opposite sexes, to be talking about it. Like I said, it kept like this innocence and familiarity that I just.
For sure.
That was really sweet.
Yeah, just being open, like,
Yeah.
yo, why are you being his project partner?
Right, exactly.
He's an idiot. You're gonna do all the work.
Yeah.
I don't care. He's hot.
Yep. So funny.
Which I get.
So opposite of me.
yeah.
Yeah.
You want the person who's gonna work hard.
I'll take the straggly weird one of the bunch.
Just for fun, huh?
Yeah.
You'll take the Martin Corley.
I know. Somebody about the energy. I don't know. Like, Seth is just a little too perfect. Like I told you, those blondes.
Oh
man.
yeah, that's right.
They're just a little too.
a little shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They feel unreal. Ethereal angels, indeed.
Yeah, Barbies.
But not, yes. And then your project partner
Yeah.
and your. Oh,
We're
one of
all
my
project
favorite
partners,
montages of all, that made me laugh like we were a real show.
Is when we're having fun with the baby.
With the montage.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
so when we're like all the good times we have, we're like throwing
Reminiscing.
it.
Oh yeah, we had so much fun doing that, dude. So much fun.
That was fabulous. What were those other 3 things you did with it? Oh, it slipped under the water while you were giving it a bubble bath.
Yeah, but we're
And
having
just
so much fun that we don't even know.
That shot of it just going.
Yes.
Bruh.
Yeah.
We let the baby drown. It was nice.
And
But
Monroe
listen, we
just
were having a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that
Fantastic.
whole running gag of like us being the
alternatives,
parents
yeah.
of this baby that we like kind of beat up and love and don't care about but do care about. And
You
and
definitely care about it in your own way. You're
Yeah.
bringing it to have fun with that bubble bath.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
Then you just,
And it was all about the intentions, because like, okay, Bully Loomer runs away with the baby and he rips it apart. We were doing that anyway.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
intentions were bad.
that was actually a very cute storyline as well, to mail you back all those parts.
It was. And the
showdown.
And the showdown. That was really fun to me. The baby head showdown.
Getting the last piece.
I think this is some of the first times we're seeing Thea is in this episode, who is Sewing Club curly haired homie who is one of my best friends in real life.
Did they introduce him as? They don't introduce him as being the Sewing Club guy until like Detentions, right?
Yeah, it's like a couple episodes later.
After-
So
okay.
they haven't done that yet, but that's his running gag. But he had a line in this one that made me laugh so hard, which is at the end when when Bully Loomer is the mummy and everyone gets scared, and then Theo goes, "Whoa, mummy, protect the women!"
Oh yeah.
And he like sticks out his tongue.
That was
and
so good.
That was a big
I
one.
That
loved
shit made me
that.
laugh.
And the way Meshach runs from that classroom
Yes.
with just keeping the stakes so high.
Yeah, Meshach
I
was an
forgot
angel.
to say, in Lockers, we established that Lisa Zemo likes you.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
And you, how was...
What? How was it? Well, now Rachel Sibner's an actual just beautiful young lady.
Wonderful.
Outside of it, they put a lot of makeup on her to make her look way
A little
more
snotty girl.
sniffly. But yeah, I mean, no, it was interesting just having like a love interest kind of blossoming in the show or whatever.
But I mean, for so long, she's like, I mean, yeah, they're building it, but like, she's a love stalker, really. Like, she loves you,
Yeah.
and you're not down.
that into yeah.
And later, eventually, it blossoms into something real, and that's cute for TV. I
But
think.
it's a little weird to insinuate that, okay, if you keep stalking them long enough, they're gonna be.
That's all I wanted to put out there. It is
Yeah.
cute for TV. TV's different. It's not real life. Fun storyline. We love it over time. It's a running gag. We love it. It's good conflict. In real life,
Don't stalk people.
don't pine after someone who has shown
Zero interest.
no
Guys,
interest.
see, episode 2, she's making legal arrangements.
Oh,
I know.
To get a date. So that's not stalking. That's like strategy.
But even that, it's bringing a lawyer to get the attention
That's
rather
true.
than just
getting the attention.
getting
Right.
someone to like you, right?
And it's tough
Right.
just because you have power and you can do litigation in order to get things done.
No, right.
You're still a stalker.
And again,
Right.
hilarious on the show, but I was thinking that I was like, don't do this in real life.
No.
young girls and guys.
Young Burl.
Well, you have to go on a date with him, and you have to go on a date with her.
Exactly.
Like, it's very medieval.
Claire Sawyer, future lawyer. She comes back in this episode to
Fantastic.
litigate the project partner switch.
Yep.
I actually do love that running gag on the show. Is just that we have like a child lawyer, and then the running gag of saying, "Claire, I've known you since pre-K." She always says, "Claire Sawyer, future lawyer. Claire, I've known you since pre-K." But I love that bit that we get to litigate in middle school. She negotiates the project partner switch.
I love just that little beat of like, Seth is not your partner. Or, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Seth is not your partner anymore. He put his name on Corley's project. He was already done. And then you see just that shot of him just stammering and...
Alex Black is another person who played Seth, who on set was so funny. Alex and Rob, like, I mean, all of us, again, we would make each other laugh, but Alex had his own kind of humor that used to kill me.
Devastating.
Yeah.
Like...
Devastating funny. And he gets into it a little bit in this episode, like even in his lines when you guys are in like the couples counseling.
Yeah.
And he just kind of like whines through things, but it's so funny.
It's so earnest.
Yeah, it's so basketball.
Yeah.
Mommy, basketball. Like, God, he's
And
so
he
funny.
shows up in that like Egyptian wear.
Oh yeah.
Is that... Was that offensive?
I don't
It
think.
depends on how you
I think
take
we're
it.
past the statute of limitations on It's ancient Egyptian. I think we're okay. I hope.
It depends who you're
I don't
talking
know.
to.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are just ready to cancel everybody.
That's
so.
true. I have yet to
You
hear.
get canceled
I have
and
yet
you
to hear that putting on costume pharaoh garb is offensive. I have yet to hear that, but it's possible.
Oh, no. Yeah, there's
you're
someone who
treading
hates
the
it.
line, homie.
Yeah.
You're treading the line,
Listen,
and
listen,
if
I
there
didn't
isn't
wear
one,
it.
you're
I'm
creating
not a
one.
pharaoh. You know how offensive that is to pharaohs.
I didn't wear it. All right. I just want to say
Alex Black, you're canceled.
for Ned's Declassified.
That part.
20
years later.
ago, you made the worst decision. Okay.
People have asked me about the basketball gag. I don't even know that I want to tell people how it works. You know, do we keep it?
love that.
Like people have asked, and sometimes I'm like, I don't even want to tell you. I want you to keep it mysterious
Yeah,
because it's
yes.
not overly mysterious.
No.
I agree.
You
I
gotta
agree.
imagine to
Right.
yourself.
It's a simple mechanism.
How do you get a basketball to
continue to
spin,
spin
to continue to
perpetually.
spin, and then just look at Alex's
Hand.
body language
Rigid the whole
anytime
time.
he has this thing.
He did such an incredible job. He had the job in addition to acting like you,
That's
where
true.
the physicality was such a part of the character.
That's true, because-
he never stopped.
That's true, because through every scene, if that ball stopped spinning, and it had to be spun a lot, then the gag's over.
Yeah.
So through every scene, he has to be smacking that basketball.
Man.
And in between lines, in between everybody's everything, you know.
Yeah, but yeah, basically he had that ball strapped to his arm, and there's
Yeah,
like a hidden
yeah.
pole back
He
there
did such a
that he
good
has
job.
to also hide with his hand.
I
'cause
know
if you
that's
see
what
the pole,
that's what I mean. It's like discipline in those.
yeah, he has to like.
Because that starts to get like a lot after a while.
Oh, yeah.
Just like keeping your hand very.
Oh yeah, and no matter where the camera is, he's facing against it. Like,
Dude.
such a funny
I know
bit.
his fingertips were getting like grinded down a little bit from that too. I'm sure it was a hard job.
I'm
It's
so
not an
sorry.
easy job.
I didn't mean that.
No, that's
I'm just
hilarious.
like,
Like what a funny
course.
weird pain. Like what a
Yeah.
funny weird thing to have.
he didn't have fingerprints anymore after
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Same.
But-
Just on that finger.
Yeah.
Just burned it off. I love that bit, man. I love like being reminded of these characters and just like the stereotypes that we play them on, and then that they also would break at certain points throughout the seasons. You know,
Yeah.
they'd like set up these archetypes. Even Loomer, like you set up that he's the stereotype, but then you show, oh, but he's more than that stereotype. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's got feelings.
Yeah.
Underneath that rough exterior.
Except he did try to bully us. This is more of this liking stuff. He did try to bully us into getting him access to Mose.
Oh yeah, love. Yeah, love makes people do crazy things for sure. But also, I mean, you guess he was playing to his strengths in order to secure his love.
That's
you know?
right.
So he's like, I'm willing to extort people and beat them across the head so that he could reach his ultimate
Yeah.
goal. Sometimes you got to crack a few eggs to make an omelet.
Right.
Had to do that. I love bringing those out.
Yeah, I don't know that I feel so. That's what I mean. Like we have these eyes of today focused on something that was so innocent, so lovely. Like this very, I don't know. Like now when we add connotation to like what we were doing and like setting people up and extorting people for, but like really it's just two kids holding hands at the
little
lunch
extortion,
table, right?
And it's
a little
gimmicks
extortion
for a
between
slapstick
friends.
show. Like for us,
Exactly.
it's not.
But it introduced
Entertainment is different. Like it's different. The rules
Yeah.
are different. The rules of comedy are different.
For sure.
Like
Comedy has changed over a while. Like I realized I was not funny. Like I'm like all these tropes that I would try to use. Like I tried to do like a kind of stand-up thing, and I'm like, you're not funny. You just play to a lot of stereotypes, and it made me really have to examine. You can. There are some people who can do comedy and be very witty, and I prefer those people who can really sit down and say, how can I pull this off without offending a lot of people?
Sure.
So I don't know. I admire
you
Completely
did
agree.
stand up. Like you went and did
Oh
some.
no! It was that anxiety, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not. I can't do it.
But you tried for a minute and you thought about it for a moment.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, it's not for me, and it just sounds like it's just a bunch of offensive stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
that
right,
I've been taught to think it's funny.
Wow, the only things you thought were funny were offensive.
No, that's not true. But I'm just like, I don't even know if I want to put myself up. You know,
Yeah. To be,
Yeah, if you don't, yeah.
especially in this day and age, I'm like, yeah, no funny.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do that. Have never gotten close, but like deeply appreciate the comic.
I love stand up. I love the culture of it. I love learning about it. It terrifies me in terms of like, whoa. Like people think actors are putting themselves out vulnerably. Like, how about go into a room and you're the only thing that can make the energy work? Like, and if it doesn't, it's all you. Like the
eat you
feedback
alive.
is immediate,
Yeah.
silent,
No one else to blame.
No, it's
You
all
suck.
you.
It's
that
your
shit is-
creation. What you made isn't funny.
Yo.
What you made isn't funny. Yeah.
Yo, the thought of doing that frightens
Like taking
me.
a picture of your baby and like, hey guys, look at my baby. Isn't
Silence.
she cute? Ooh,
Yeah.
That's painful.
And that to get good at stand-up, you have to have those nights. Like
Yeah.
Practice.
You can't get through it without the bombing. They all talk about like, no, you need to bomb. Like that's part of it. You
Chappelle
need
bombed at the Apollo, like, and they laughed him off stage.
they did that. The
The broom came out. He's like, yeah, you got to get out of here. And he's like, dang, I was like a 17-year-old kid. He's like, I thought they were going to try to support me. And he's like, no, these fools are ruthless, man.
Yeah, that's it. To get good at stand-up, you have to experience that, and to like go through that gauntlet sounds just terrifying.
And it's tough because you never know. First of all, the date you're having, you might be off your game a little bit. And maybe every beat doesn't hit exactly right. But also the crowd might just be having a bad day. It might be raining that day.
For
And
sure.
if they're not feeling it, you're going to feel it.
Yeah. You know who I saw recently do stand-up, which was a throwback?
Yeah.
Dane Cook.
Oh, you love Dane Cook.
I loved
Y'all
him then.
loved him,
Yeah, like I mean, he was a massive stand-up comedian, like huge for a long time, and especially during Ned's. Like that was his like prime time. Huge.
Why did he get canceled?
I thought.
I don't
go
think.
ahead, go ahead.
I forget him getting canceled. I just think he disappeared. For a
Disappeared.
while.
Now I heard Dave Chappelle ruined his career, right? So, and I forget which podcast I saw this on, but Dave Chappelle like went to do a show, and this was at the height of the Chappelle Show and everything like that. And so I think not at Groundlings, I forget what the spot's called, Laugh Factory or something like that. But it's Dane Cook's night or whatever. And so Dave shows up, and the manager's like, "Hey, yo, Dave, look, we'll let you up here, but you got to do like a 10-minute set, nothing too long because it's Dane Cook's night." And Dave Chappelle's like, okay, but I kind of want to just do my thing. But all right, yeah, I'll do 10 minutes. So Dave goes up. He does like 10 minutes, doesn't do anything too uber funny. But this is at the height of Chappelle's show. He's smoking a cigarette, and he's like, yeah, guys, that's my set. If anybody wants to just come out and just chit-chat, we can do it. You guys can come with me. Everyone left the theater to go and chit-chat with Dave Chappelle. And then now Dane Cook is there.
Has an empty
no
audience.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's what I heard. But,
I mean, that wouldn't totally halt his career, but that night would suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think he got canceled. I know he dates a really young girl, like not a young girl. He dates a young woman, and he's older, so people have shit with that. But as far as I know, I think he just like stopped. His brother stole a bunch of money from him. Like he had some personal shit, and I think he just went away. It was a trip to see him back doing comedy, and he was so funny. Like it was like,
nice.
It was like great to see.
Dang.
I was like, holy shit,
Fantastic.
this man's hilarious, and he's been around.
Project partners. How important? No. That's great. I love that. Yeah. Well, yeah. Project partners. So, have you guys ever had situations with actual project partners? Like how?
I wasn't
Oh,
normal
man.
enough in school, you know? Like, I didn't go to high school. Like,
So the first project that I can remember having a partner with, it was 4th grade, and I had like all my friends, Danielle, Holly, Nicole, like we were all on a team. And I wanted this presentation to go like very specifically and very well.
You had
And
ideas.
Right. And like, I don't know why, like it wasn't totally prepared, but I was like walking in with Danielle from recess, and I was like trying to whisper to her because we were right about to do it. And she made me so mad. I literally said, listen, you fucking bitch. And it's the first time I like said those words, but I was so angry.
meant those words.
I meant them so much. And she literally goes, like we're Catholic school, like deeply, you know.
listen, you
And I was so mad that she wouldn't understand. No, she wouldn't understand. And then our project obviously sucked. Like,
It's the end of the world.
like
though.
it was like, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That was where all my worth was, Daniel.
Dang.
Like a girl had to learn, but Danielle got hurt that day.
Her feelings were hurt.
Danielle, you know who you are. I'm sorry, girl. I hope you don't remember that.
Yeah, I hope not too.
Man.
Has anybody so like I don't know that I work super well on teams.
Oh yeah, Danielle doesn't think so either. Man, I'm a person who will, and this is even when I'm like directing a project or something like that. I'm not gonna leave it up to the AD to pull up the call sheet. I love responsibility being all on me. I'm like, okay, I know I wrote the script. I know I'm going to show up and direct, but I'm gonna do the call sheet as well. I'm gonna do all the shot list, have everything prepared. So when I show up on the day, I'm not lacking anything and don't have to blame anyone. So
Yeah.
it's hard for me to pass around responsibility.
I will continue my filmmaking journey and learn more. I shot my first short film last year and directed it, and man, I left a lot just like loose. Like, first of all, I didn't do it like normal. I didn't have a normal amount of crew. I used all best friends who would do like multiple roles at once, and I was like, this is kind of how I live my life. But I was just kind of like, yeah, we can go make it. Like, me and the DP prepped. We knew what we had to shoot. We knew what shots we had to get. It's not like that wasn't prepped. But I was like, this is my short. Like, we don't need a call sheet. Like, not really. Like, there's these specific long scenes. Like, me and the DP know the shots. But then I maybe played it a little loose, because then you get on set and things start happening, and there's
people are antsy because like, where's the guide, Ned?
Yeah. Dude, like, literally. So I'm gonna keep learning on my filmmaking journey, but I played it a little fast and loose in my first one, and luckily it worked out. It all came together, it all worked, but everyone worked their fucking asses off. And I probably needed like 2 or 3 more people on set. I needed an AD.
They help a lot. They'll yell at people for you so that you don't make people hate you. You know, and you can still, have your angle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of tricky being on the directing side.
Honestly, building schedules, even if you go over them, like times, will at least delay people's comments until that time.
Yes.
And also, if people don't know how far they have to run, it's a lot harder to run even shorter distance than if you knew like how much, right?
Like,
That's
have
so
the
true.
map. You can get off it, but have the idea that you're aiming for. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. When we're planning on starting, it's okay if you're late, then you knew, okay, now we need to be close to that.
Right.
Know when you plan on finishing, like all of that.
Right. When it's just,
It helps you pace people out too, because it's like, hey, chop chop. Why chop chop? Because
we have to get to this.
We have to do this. Versus you being like, hey, yo, speed it up. Why you need me to speed it up? It's like, okay, no questions, because you see the guy.
Yep.
I am honestly very excited to see you continue like your path as like a director, producer, all these things. I feel like you have the fucking qualities to be like, for real, to be like the man on set, to be a really supportive, good director.
You have this mind that's just very, it's like, it's unemotional.
Yes.
In the best way.
In the best way.
You can like really conserve that for like the right time, and then the rest of the time you're I just keep saying this, you're compassionate without being
attached,
aloof. Like that's like, I would, you're a warm guy but you're aloof. I don't know, it's strange.
I feel like that really lends itself to like directing, like and being
able to see the full picture,
to be that bird's eye view,
and to just give people the best possible experience of like being treated like a human, being talked to well, because you have this nice ability to stay calm, and I feel like really talk things out logically and keep it fair for everyone. At least that's how I felt also working with you on that little thing.
On Involuntary.
On Involuntary that we did with Hutch.
Yeah, Hutch.
And
my boy Hutch Dano directed a project. Lindsay came through for us, man.
Shout out Hutch.
Shout out Hutchings Dano.
So much fun. I got to flirt with Daniel. So much fun. Okay. And he had work, in front of the camera and behind the camera, and it was I felt very looked after and seen and protected by him and his judgment.
You were acting and directing, or acting
and producing on this one. Yeah. Hutch was the director.
I did not enjoy acting and directing at the same time. And I knew
it's easy to miss some stuff, but that's where you would need that shot list, so you don't have to keep talking to the DP, taking yourself out of the character.
And we had the shot list, but then I need to be in front of. I can't be watching the shot. I can't be watching the other actors. I have to be doing the acting. I felt like I had to sacrifice some of my directing and some of my acting to do both, and I don't think I'd ever do it again. Yeah, I hated it.
Dang. Yeah. I mean, it is a little extra. I mean, sometimes like if you're freelancing and you just want to go for that paycheck, then by all means. But I think as well, I'd prefer to wear that one director's hat. That way I can be responsible the whole time and I don't have anything that I missed, because
That's what I want on the next one. I don't know how, and people do it at high levels. I mean, some actors direct and act themselves in massive Oscar-winning movies. That's mind-blowing.
Yeah, you have to really know how to delegate authority, I think, too.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman does it in Ozark. Did you guys watch that?
Pieces of it.
Jason Bateman is the hope for the future. His trajectory of his career and how it went dormant a little bit and then just resurged with him being able to do everything.
Yeah, direct, make this amazing, gritty, deep, emotional show. Yeah. Incredible.
I mean, he's choosing really interesting projects that literally let him go like this with the drama or the comedy.
Yeah, because he's so good at both.
It's so cool. I love that. An actor who can give you both. John C. Reilly can do that.
Unbelievable.
I feel like there aren't a lot of actors who do it well like that.
Yeah.
Who are literally just totally
no matter where you put
versatile.
them. Mm-hmm. No matter where you put them, they're gonna crush. Do you guys listen to Smartless, the podcast, by any chance? It's Jason Bateman and Will Arnett and Sean Hayes. It is a delight, man. It is a delight. It's the three of them, and they're like homies, and then they interview amazing people, but they're friends, so they like shit on each other all the time, and you feel like, I'm hanging with my friends.
Oh, dang.
But they're famous, great actors. Yeah, it's good times. Smartless. Shout out Smartless.
Shout out Smartless. Hey.
This is our podcast, but we're sponsored by another podcast.
Turn up. What else happened in that episode,
Project.
man?
Nothing, dude. That's
Partners.
it. Again, a straightforward, we get the baby back. Some of these storylines are so contained. Like, they really are. I'm amazed. I was amazed watching it back. Like, it's a really contained thing.
Yeah.
It's just this little nuance.
The main moral of that one was just for her to know that, don't follow your heart and instead go with who can get you.
Oh, she wasn't leading with her heart.
Oh, she's leading with her them yams. I'm talking to her. So yeah, okay. Got you.
Mm-hmm. And so maybe just to go with maybe delayed gratification and, fulfillment in the end, as opposed to, I don't know.
It's like keep your head on straight.
Don't
give in to temptation.
Exactly. Yeah. Or if you do give in to temptation, don't be resentful for what you have to do. Just accept that. You know what I mean? And go into that choice wholly.
We didn't learn anything. We learned to negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Well, how did that go?
Well, because Billy Loomer is like, hey.
we learned to negotiate with this person.
In order to survive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we do set up that other gag that we do multiple times in Ned's, which is funny, is out of class, we're doing the exchange, like, in the empty hallways, and then the teacher from down the hall, do you guys have hall passes?
Yeah.
We lift them up, and then the teacher's like, okay, great, bye. Whatever you're doing, don't care, bye.
Yep.
That's a running Ned's gag.
Yep.
Yeah, that was fun to see. I love all those. But yeah, this is another just like really contained episode, dink. Yeah, we didn't learn. Ned and Cookie learned.
We just had a lot of montages there.
Yeah, we just got to make jokes about like us having a baby.
Yeah. Did you guys feel anything about being called an alternative couple?
Not one thing.
Well, now I'm gonna be honest. I mean, just times have changed. It was just strange for me because I was like, what are the kids at school gonna think about me because I'm like doing this counterculture thing? Like I was like, but it just wasn't.
That's hilarious because about one season later, you're in
literally full
drag.
Yeah.
So any weirdness you felt about
he's like, it was only gonna escalate.
You're about to become full drag Cookie Simone. See ya.
But dude, like literally just committing to those. It was fun, man. And a lot of people don't get a chance to be bigger than themselves.
Yeah.
They are in this box that their parents have set up for them, or just the society that they're in is really rigid, and they think this is me and it'll always be me and I'll never explore anything else. And I just feel like you can miss out on a lot of life if you don't get that chance to just engage in the arts. I'm not saying you have to be a cross-dresser or anything like that, but
I mean, that comes with acting that I love so much is like whether it's specifically a part you're playing that's opening you up to something you wouldn't have done otherwise, like wear full drag, or like the experiences on set, like or going on location somewhere, like as actors, you do get exposed to a bunch of shit that you wouldn't otherwise. Yeah, and I do think it makes you feel like, I don't know, empathy for more things, and it just like stretches your boundaries. You can't just be this one idea that you have of yourself, and like you're
that's pretty cool because other sets that I've been on with that, like I don't know. I just feel like you kind of like went into it open-minded. Like I never felt that on set with you, that you felt it like it was any.
Oh, from the alternative thing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, it was just like a thought because, I played football.
Of course.
Right.
And,
so a thought of what is the team going to say?
What are they going to think?
Yeah.
And no one cares.
Yep.
Right.
Freaking, I'm like, hey, I'm getting paid, mother.
Hey.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember like when I like obviously you guys didn't play that couple, but like I was so. Yeah, I was just so worried about that part of my life being speculated. Like, obviously
on
that
Ned's or on
on Pretty Little Liars
Yeah,
when I
'cause
did
you were
that.
in a-
Obviously
you're
that
in a
was
gay
way
relationship,
later,
right?
and we were
Yeah.
like sexualized and
Yeah.
all of that. But it's an interesting thing. Like even when you're playing that to try on those things that you don't, that you aren't.
Right. Ultimately, I think it's good because as actors, you got to meet it with like compassion. So
Or
you just open
that
up to
you
whatever
totally
it is.
are, but like haven't come to yet. Like it was just
Right.
such an interesting road for me once that little nugget or presumption, which honestly they say all my characters have this undertone. But once that presumption was like
Of being gay?
known and recognized, they're like all your characters have been gay icons. They all turned me. And I was like, okay. So the following is strong. But yeah, it's just hard. I don't know what this has to do with this, but
No, it
that
does.
later was my journey down that little road.
Yeah, no, no, it does have to do it because I'm a little curious about that because you played like an important role and a lesbian on Pretty Little Liars,
Yeah.
and like,
And
that's representation for people. So how people like that hits people's hearts. Like when they see it, they're like, that's me. You're representing them. Like it does do
Gives them a
something.
voice a little bit.
it's the first time art, like I was like, oh, that's what it can do.
Yeah,
And then I remember really early on I clarified in a pod, like they were like, what's something that's different about you and your character? And I had to make sure that I said like, I'm not gay. You know what I mean? And like I had a boyfriend at that time and like whatever, but just the fact that I felt like it was so necessary to like,
To even point it out.
Yeah, to even point it out.
And I wonder if you would now, like, obviously we've come so far, and especially living in LA, like, I don't know, LGBTQ, gayness, queerness, all of it is like pretty, it feels like pretty like normal, and
Right.
like I don't even think about
in
it.
LA, yeah.
Right. I mean, society's moving forward. It's dope. Like, it doesn't feel, it's not even like a fucking thought now in LA, but I guess in small towns it still.
And
yeah,
most
for
big
people.
towns.
Did you get shit from your family for it?
Well, they would have had to watch it for me to get shit.
Okay.
No.
Because I had a buddy who
But that's why they didn't watch it.
that's what I was curious about, because I had a buddy who played a gay football player in like a pretty decently big movie, and it was like a whole thing with his like ultra religious family. Like, it
Wait,
like
was
a
that the
whole-
movie where like the whole paradigm of everything is switched over?
Uh-uh.
Oh, never mind.
Uh-uh.
They made this movie where like straight was like gay.
Oh,
and
where
gay
they
was
make straight the minority,
Yeah,
ostracized,
straight is
weird.
their ostracized minority.
No, that's a good way to explore that dynamic.
Yeah,
though. Like,
yeah,
that's great.
really
but no, it
interesting.
wasn't that. But no, it was it was just a great like high school movie, and he just happened to play a gay character,
Yeah.
and his morally religious, right? Like
not
they, yeah.
Yep.
It's so strange that anyone.
I believe one of their responses, okay, you can do that, but just keep it all away from me. Keep it all away
Oh,
from
wow. Just make sure you send the money home.
Yeah, exactly. Let me cash them checks.
you can do that. Just keep it away
From me. And I'm just like, wow. Honestly, it was such a revolutionary role for me. Like my own identity, what I felt like people were genuinely, and I could feel them, right? Like what this was doing to them. But then also like, Shay's got that aloof thing going on too. She's like cool like that. But also just, not feeling weird about it. But then sometimes we'd break apart and she's like, and this is why I go home and wear a nightie just to remember I'm a girl. And like, so it was kind of, I don't know. I had no problem doing it on set. I hated being reminded that like she was aware of it, But that, like, I think we had really nice chemistry overall, and I think it was really lovely. But I think a lot of those little details just contributed to my distress about that question. And I was on that show for a period of like 7 years, over 7 years, right? Yeah. And so just my whole idea of that, it just changed over those 7 years. Like my sexual identity, like my thoughts about it being out, like all of it, And it's like, yeah, it changes all the time. So it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, life's more fluid.
Exactly. Way
than
more
anyone
fluid.
lets you believe.
Right.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, life's way more fluid, and everything is on a spectrum. Everything.
Yeah.
Every single thing is on a spectrum.
Yep.
So
Continuum.
you can find yourself on any point of it at any time, like, and it
Yep.
fluctuates.
Yep.
It's those boxes, man. It is a weird thing that we do try to force people into boxes, and that's the same with like colorism, like whatever, choosing political parties. There's always this like polemic thing, and people want to say, this is you, this is gonna be you, and it's the only way you can be in this society.
Yeah.
Or go to that society.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're kind of just people. We wake up, our breath smells in the morning. We all
Amen.
have to eat and shit. It's like, why put up those boundaries on everybody? Just live life. Be happy.
Yeah, we all need a bidet on our crusty asses. Like,
You know what I think?
Everybody poops.
You know what I think? Bidets would put a lot more ease and awareness around anal regression, like that. Listen,
Well, that sounds real.
do you know how? Wait. You know how Freud was like, there's all those stages.
All right, tell me more.
how do we get here?
No. He said there were all those stages that you could stop at, like the oral stage, the anal stage, the this, that, and the other stage. I feel like a lot of us were shamed in that anal stage, and that's why it's such a big deal for us to take a crap, right? Or to fart, and like nobody farts, especially women, and blah, 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 blah. And there's so much shame around the culture, but it's also like we keep it in the dark, we keep it in the shadows. Girl, clean that thing. Make it a part of your daily routine. Feel that thing. Give it some love and realize that your poops can be helped. They can come out easier. It doesn't have to be a shameful experience.
Hey.
It doesn't have to smell and be all up in there. The gas can come out.
Hey.
Thank you.
No one should feel shame around something as natural
human.
as
I know,
pooping.
but something
Yes.
had to have happened
No,
for
it
it to
happens.
become so. Well, I guess it's because we started wearing fancy clothes and like being like, you're in your stocks.
Yeah, exactly. Wardrobe. I mean, if everyone just walked around naked, I think we would be less.
Be looser with it.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
Yeah.
realize that hair just grows everywhere. And like,
Facts.
I don't know. They're sugaring. Okay, I told you guys about sugaring.
Yes.
Sugaring. The
Tell
new
the
technique.
audience. Tell the audience about sugar.
Sugaring is a new alternative to waxing where they take a scrub and a paste, just rub it all up on your stuff. Your hair. Then take like a scraper. Think windshield wiper scraper for the snow. In the
Like a
ice.
squeegee.
And then
And it just lightly comes
yeah,
off.
yeah, and I think it's like a little bit of a like there's a little bit of like, okay, it's gonna come off anyway.
Nice.
Sugaring. What were we saying
It's the
before this?
alternative to waxing.
But how do you feel? That anal theory is actually pretty cool, right?
I've never spoken this, extensively about anuses, but the anal regression. Now,
This is turning into a different podcast.
so you're saying that there is a stage in people's life that Freud kind of laid out for us,
Outlined.
where if things happen, or if you don't get past,
It's like you're really introduced to him. Like the first time a baby becomes aware that it's like has this oral, like
That's the oral
becomes
stage.
aware of the sense. The first time a kid becomes aware of like their own autonomy over their bowels, right?
Okay.
And one of those deep stages is the anal stage.
and that it's repressed and shamed in society.
Well, that at some point in our even little okay, this is enough. But in our little kid lives, when people were changing our diapers, something about it was shameful.
shameful.
Or
Gotcha,
was
gotcha.
shamed, and so that has carried us through into.
You can go too far with your free anus.
Well, because here's the middle.
It's your anus.
Here's
You
the
do what
middle.
you want to.
Here's the middle. You're going to polarity central, and that is never a good thing, especially with the anus.
that part. Okay,
You know?
stay right down the middle, guys.
You want to shoot right
Right?
down the middle of
right
it.
down the middle.
Anyway,
Yes.
Devin, you didn't tell us about. Did you tell us a story about a project partner?
I have no stories.
Okay.
I have
poop
no
alone.
stories.
You no, a project partner in
I
school that
poop
you
alone.
work with.
Yeah. Project.
There
yeah,
are
it is.
no partners with my anus.
Amen.
Dang, good stuff. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
You guys thought I was talking foolish.
No. I was like, because I've heard of like the
Yeah, no.
the-
I just didn't know the.
the
I knew
ramifications.
you knew what you were saying. I understood the
ramifications of.
Yeah.
of poop shame,
Right?
of anal shame.
Yeah.
So don't shame people when they're pooping, guys. Let
Yeah.
people poop in peace.
And
Yeah.
also,
That's the tip.
This whole meme in culture is like this thing that like girls don't poop or fart. It's just like
I'm like
Funny joke.
low-key offended. Like
Yeah.
I'm so offended by it because it's just like you don't even have a right to your natural animal fucking behavior.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
girls
that's tough.
girls
That's
play
tough.
into it too. They're like, no,
I
no.
know,
it's
and I'm just like,
guys, can
and
we?
this
can
is
we stop?
this is hot take. Ooh,
Yeah.
I think women have as much to learn from the Me Too movement as men because while we've given a lot away, and I think remembering our biological like purity, like because we're getting all of the waxes, we're taking away the smell, like it's just very like
you're making
you
wrong your
literally
nature.
Yeah.
make the woman almost inanimate when
Yeah.
you do that. You're not supposed to eat.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to poop.
Yeah.
Like all you're supposed to do is like works like a routine to put food on the table to take care of your kids, but like at the end of the day is just this like, and it's so dumb. Girls have some of the funniest farts there are. Like my poop stories have gotten me through the pandemic. Like, do you understand? Like, I appreciate. What'd I send you both this morning?
A
photo of
picture
poop.
of shit.
Yep.
Right, and
In
I'm
the
pretty sure
rain.
that was a person's.
Oh yeah, that looked like
Right?
a human person.
This is
downtown
LA. You can actually,
Yeah, yeah.
Full
And
menu list.
You think
God
LA
bless
is
them
beautiful?
because that was a
guys?
healthy poop.
Wait till you walk
And,
around.
I've found a lot of freedom
Yeah.
in like ripping it.
Liberate, ladies.
It's gonna happen.
Ladies,
Yeah.
liberate your farts and poops. Okay.
Yeah. Liberate your buttholes.
Liberate
because,
your buttholes.
because that's only going to cause what? Hemorrhoids? What can it cause?
Wait, what?
Just
Like
Constipation?
clenching your beak.
Clenching your butthole all day,
shame.
that's gonna make you an angry person. Overall.
Yeah, you know
You
the
know?
term tight ass? It's for a reason.
If you're
He's a
sucking
fucking
in
tight
your,
ass.
you're sucking in your thing, your butt is puckered, like you
Yeah.
are exhausted by lunch. Just from your own posture.
So when
and
did-
then you're in heels and have to walk down the thing. And I'm just like resentful.
Liberate those farts.
You know?
Liberate those poops.
And
I
all
think-
because I'm trying to not be my human self. You're saying that's tough.
That's what it comes down to. It's
But
like
you're
anything that's going
expected not
against
to be
your
your human
nature.
self.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna happen. The human is gonna happen. The animal is there all the time, and all this masking does kind of suck. Like deodorant, I like a little deodorant. but-
No, okay.
Little bit.
Don't get me wrong. And I believe in like hygiene and like natural,
hygiene's important.
obviously. And I don't think actually a lot of us know enough about hygiene, to be really honest with you.
What are you saying?
I
should
just
wash my
think
balls?
there are parts of our body and definitely insides of our body that we're never taught about keeping clean. Like and even externally, like we're just not, I don't know. When I go to the Korean spa, homie, and I'm just in there with the hose and I'm watching all the ladies do their thing, I'm like, wow, that is clean.
That is clean. Damn. So you're seeing, yeah.
I mean, they are just squatting with hoses, and I'm like moved.
I need to go to one of these Korean spas. I gotta get me one.
There is a co-ed section. It's honestly
It's a co-ed section?
There is a
I
co-ed
didn't
section.
know there was a vagina car
It
wash
is
in the Korean spa.
All right.
I didn't
You're
know
naked
there was
in
the
there and you-
self-serve car wash.
I think naked is just truly incredible. Not for any like the.
No.
I just literally
It's
mean
liberating.
it's
Natural.
Oh, and like I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
It's like it's a great experience.
No, it feels nice to be in your natural body.
Exactly, and I
And not have it be weird.
I
and
actually
not have it be shameful.
derive so much of my like sensuality from that. You know what I mean? Just like my natural self. Yeah.
Yeah. I went to Burning Man a few times, so you guys
Oh.
know this. Nudity is allowed at Burning Man, and I've gone 6 times. It wasn't until like my 3rd year that I actually like got naked for the first time out there. And it's crazy because out there, like if I got naked in downtown LA,
Oh, you're going to jail. Very long time.
I'm getting arrested. It's gonna feel weird. I'm gonna get looks. It's gonna be a problem, right? So it's not about that. But at Burning Man, like it's all good. People are naked. It's all good. So you can kind of like shed some shit. It was kind of liberating to be just in my skin, not ashamed of like my body. Although it was funny. One of the times I was with one of my best friends, Drew, for years. And we were out there Burning Man. We go to find like somewhere to take a shower because we didn't have one. And we found this group steam bath thing. And so we walk and we're walking buddies, been buddies for years, walking to go to this steam bath thing. And then we get to the line and we see oh, right, it's a steam bath. Everybody's naked. And this is like my homie. We've never been naked around each other, but it was just like, okay, this is Burning Man. So we're like having a conversation, looking at each other, and then just like getting naked while looking at eyes up here, buddy. And then
You kept the convo going? Was the convo
there
still
was a
going?
line. So we had to stand in line
Naked,
for
just to
like,
get to the water.
To get to the water for
Dang.
like a little while. So we're just standing there having a conversation. And I was actually surprised. Like once we got through that initial like, oh, little shame awkwardness, it honestly was like all good.
It was the
It was
same as
all
any conversation.
good. We're just people,
But this
man.
is what I don't understand. Did you guys actually look at each other's junk right away? Because that seems like the best way to do that, right?
No,
Just like,
no.
All right.
No, we didn't discuss
good.
it. We didn't discuss
But you
it.
both knew you snuck a peek.
I can't remember. I can't remember. But
All
we
right.
probably
Probably at some point, I'm sure.
Just human curiosity.
Yeah, just like, oh, that's what you're working with. Just like
Right?
do a little inspection.
Like,
oh,
right?
is this
Not even-
that's what you
Like,
got?
measure
But,
this
like-
thing on up here.
I used to feel
See
weird.
what we're dealing with.
I used to feel weird
Got the
about
strawberry blonde pubes.
that.
huh, bud?
Like, okay.
Yay.
Okay.
Ooh.
Do the shades match the blinds? I forget how that.
I used to feel really, really weird. Like,
That's not it.
not if I changed
I didn't think so.
in front of other people, but if people changed in front of me, I was like, do I look? Do I not? Are you going to think something of me if I look? But I want to look.
But you
I'm
want to?
curious.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, I'm sure. Yeah,
I didn't really want to see
Yeah.
my man's junk.
Right,
I didn't
right,
have
right,
that
right, right.
natural
I'm trying to pretend like this
curiosity.
isn't happening. I'm just keeping.
No,
my
that's
eyes
what was
up
funny
there.
was
Yeah.
we didn't talk about it. We both saw it, clocked it, walked up to the line, continued our conversation, took off our pants, tucked them away, continued our conversation.
Yeah.
And then honestly,
I couldn't.
it did settle into just like, actually this is fun. Like I actually felt it was
Kinda just here,
freeing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was freeing to be like, it's one thing to be at Burning Man walking around naked or be with a girlfriend around naked, which I have been at Burning Man, but being like with like my bro, like,
Yeah,
and
tough.
just being like, cool, this is natural. We have human bodies and it's okay. Under the right circumstances, like we're just fucking people, man.
You know, football for me, like we would shower,
Oh,
like
yes.
and stuff like that. So it's like it's not that far fetched. Like, and it does happen in society.
I never liked that. I never
no,
liked a naked man locker room in a
Dude,
gym.
at the gyms, I hate
Oh,
that. And there's
no.
always that wrinkly homie,
Dude,
like
there's always an old
Bruh,
man
cover
with his
up,
fucking
dog.
leg up on the fucking bench.
His leg
There's
has to be up.
always
Captain
a man
Morgan.
drying himself like fucking this in the
like,
gym
bruh.
locker room. I never was a fan
and he's
of that.
always there.
He
I'm like,
stays
you
there
never
all day.
use the equipment.
Literally,
Yeah, he just
literally.
stays there, doesn't
He was
use the
there when
workout
I
equipment.
locked. He was there when I put my shit away before I worked out. He's there when I come in after.
Yep.
Jim, what you doing here, man?
Yep.
That's great.
All right. So, who in your real life do you think is the best project partner that you've ever had?
Yeah, we got to bring
Who
it
is
back.
Who's the best naked penis
Yeah, that we've
in
ever.
my life?
That's great. Who's the greatest project partner? That's a tough one.
Theo.
Theo, you guys
Theo.
did a lot of work
Alyssa.
done? Yeah.
Yeah, Theo Olivares, who played, the other bully. Yeah, working with him, he's a dream. He's a
Dude.
goddamn dream.
My bro Sean 2 Miles, man. We get a lot of work done, man.
You guys have been doing that for
Yeah, you're
years
always
too.
creating with him.
Just the music, that's kind of where it started. Then now, going into more marketing for our artists and then pulling the videos together. So a lot of the content that I've created have been with this guy, and anything we need to research, I can just hit him up like, oh, yo, man, put your foot on the gas on this, figure this out. He'll say the same thing to me. And next time he comes with some new skill set, I'm like, okay, now I gotta one up and build. And it's like this just friendly competition that helps us rise.
Helps you
man.
rise. That is
Love it,
so
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's such a good dynamic
Shout
to
out.
have. That like raising each other.
Yeah. And
Like, oh, I gotta show up.
not letting us drop the ball on things, because it's so easy to just say, okay, we can let off the gas, we've been doing well enough. But it's like, no, let's go to the next thing. And if we did it this good, then we can do even better. Like, that's every new accolade just shows that there's a greater one behind it,
And
Love that.
and none of us can do anything.
Wait,
alone.
I wanna redo mine. It's not Alyssa because honestly, it's fun to be around her, but getting things done with her. I'm gonna say my sponsor actually that I work with, and that's because that's the one person that I've actually gotten real work done, with, and
It's
that's
important to have these relationships because we cannot do our lives alone. You just cannot.
Yo, the next Declassified tip is surround yourself with good project partners.
Life partners.
good life project partners. Right? Picking good project partners for your life is more important than picking good project partners for your projects. Unless
No, we don't have it.
That's not right.
Almost. Somewhere in there.
Life survival guide tip.
No, just pick your project partners
Carefully,
throughout
thoughtfully.
your life.
Oh, there we go. Nice.
Pick your project. There are good project partners and there are bad project partners.
So pick your project partners
carefully.
And that's the tip.
And by projects, you can
Whatever project.
Projects, whatever you want it
right,
to be.
absolutely. Hey, thanks so much for watching this episode of the Declassified Pod. To get even more of our silly antics, go ahead and subscribe to our Patreon.
Oh my goodness.
Let's
Hi.
go. Let's
Hi,
get it.
guys. I like this
Back
dress,
again.
Linz. You look cute.
Right?
Nice,
Yeah, you look like a little
sweetness.
Yeah, you look like a
Do you
little
have
sweet
the
cutie.
little shoulder pads in there or no?
I don't know if
they're
they're
just
shoulder
kinda-
pads as much as like a bloused sleeve.
Blouse sleeve. Okay, yeah, I know nothing about wardrobe.
That's what it's called. But
You're familiar with
yeah,
a blouse
shit.
sleeve.
you don't know
Come
what
on.
blouse
I've had
sleeves
to
all
come across
about,
them
yo.
every
Come
now
on.
and again.
Yeah.
What?
I prefer my blouses off.
Yeah, when you wear your pantaloons, you go ahead and wear your blouse sleeves.
Exactly.
Oh.
Absolutely, right.
You
got
got to balance the top with the bottom.
So
With the
Does the carpet match the drapes?
carpet match the drapes. I said it wrong on the last podcast.
You got it.
All right, what episode are we doing?
We are on Detention. The episode is Detention. You guys watched it?
Yeah.
yes,
I hope so.
it's actually one of my favorite moments for my character in this episode.
It's what moment?
When I say word.
You say word? You just go word?
Did
And
you
did you
watch
watch
the
the
episode?
episode?
I did. When do you say
Yeah,
word?
which one though? Tell me.
So y'all get into that paper airplane thing,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
And then you stand up for him, and so he's like, "Big blah blah,"
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
"Jennifer,
if
one
you
more
utter
word
one-
from
Oh,
you."
yeah. no, that was fine, yeah.
I thought you were saying Mo said like word, and I was
Yeah.
like, when did Mo
Yeah, and
speak
she-
like word?
Down to like ride with her boys.
Yeah,
you know what
I
I mean?
it was
did.
dope,
I
it
did
was
love
dope
that
moment.
moment. So yeah, this episode, Cookie makes a perfect paper airplane.
Perfect.
It gets taken by a gust of wind in front of Sweeney, which means Cookie threw it. He sends Cookie to detention. Ned's standing right there. Ned stands up for him. He
Yeah.
gets detention, and then he threatens Mose, if you say one word, you'll get it too. And you're like, I'll ride with you.
He almost
Not
walked
Benji
away.
will.
Word.
Yep.
So we all get detention.
Yep.
We're scared of the 8th graders who are in detention. Even Bully Loomer is afraid of these guys.
Yeah. Our bully is afraid of the bullies.
Yeah.
Where we're going.
And so we need to survive them. Mose kind of disappears in this episode.
Yeah.
You get taken out to go clap erasers,
Right.
and you're just
Oh,
out.
yeah, yeah.
I'm just gone.
Peace. You had a light
I
episode.
absolutely loved all of your little shenanigans to get out of there. The paperclip thing, and you guys like waving back.
Yeah, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
scooting forward.
Yeah.
I did find a lot of these like gags to be funny. Like I enjoyed
And
Absolutely
they hold
foolish,
up.
though.
Like they're intricate, but they're simple and like
Yeah, we got to see P Cookie
they're
for the
intricate,
first
but they're
time.
simple.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you know what? P Cookie. So P Cookie, for those who don't know, was like this alter ego like rapper for Cookie. You know, Cookie's a nerdy guy. He's just making gadgets all the time, getting himself out of trouble that way. But somehow he musters up the confidence to just remake himself, reinvent himself as this
As a bad boy.
bad boy.
I guess we didn't actually call you P Cookie in this episode. You were just like Cookie, baddest boy in Polk. But this was the first
Time
like
we-
it gets expanded on later. So it was nice to see. I forgot how early we put you in like a velour jumpsuit.
Oh yeah, that thing was
make
fresh. I
you-
felt
Yeah.
so cool.
And
I
you
felt
walk,
so cool.
dude. You walk different.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Totally.
I love.
No,
I
this
love
is-
Swagger Cookie.
This is what I love. When in the lunchroom, the kid Corley, right, comes up to you and asks for an autograph,
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
and then you would do this, especially when you had those rings on.
Yeah, yeah. You
Get outta
shoo
here.
Curly
Get outta
away
here.
with your bling
the
ring.
little shoe was my favorite.
Get out of here.
Yep.
Yeah, you
You did that as P Cookie a lot.
exactly.
That was a move.
That was my thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you really adopted like a different
Persona.
vibe.
Completely.
Yeah, you really
And-
brought it.
And then they just did not give one crap.
The 8th graders didn't care.
No, they didn't care.
They were out
snapped
for
my
no good.
glasses.
That
It was all
was-
bad.
That was
Terrible.
brutal. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
brutal.
Like,
Oh man.
yeah, that was a little too bad.
In this episode is our first time introducing Lonnie Love,
Oh,
the
she's so
Oracle lunch
It's
lady.
in the beans.
It's in the
baby.
it's in the beans, baby. It's in the
Dang.
peas,
Oh,
baby.
She's
she
so
is
good.
A force.
She's so funny.
Lonnie
Yeah.
Love,
I've been to her comedy shows. Like,
dude,
I love it.
that is a hilarious and great person.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She would make Scott laugh. Like she would make Scott there was like a blooper where she says something and Scott's just like cracking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the best. This was cool. I mean, you're not even in this episode, basically, Lindsay.
How dare you? It is still, I still get credited for this episode.
Yeah,
Right? Hey, yeah.
But it was you and me. There were some lines I loved. On the inside, only the strong survive, referring to detention. That makes me laugh. And that was coming from Chop Saw when he's giving us... Actually, you were in that part of the episode. Chop Saw is reminding us to be oak.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
no,
you're
no,
more
no.
like
Oh,
Driftwood.
And I say to you at the end, I'm oak. Like,
Yes.
it's so nonchalant. And then that arm gag, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
He
That
had...
was awesome.
I'll be screaming at the top of my lungs until da-da-da.
Yeah, he said, all right, everyone, put in your earplugs.
Yeah.
I'll be screaming at the top of my lungs for the rest of the day until school's over. Yeah, and he also, I thought he just crushed that whole episode. He also says, I'm like, oh, am I oak too? He's like, not you, Chipmunk. She's oak. You're more like kindling.
Oh,
Yeah.
kindling. I
Kindling.
thought Driftwood. It was kindling.
Kindling.
Yeah, dang.
Kindling.
Dave,
And when
Dave
you
Follett.
say that line, drift. Wait, that was actually the electives. That was way back.
Yeah, that's the wood shop
when you
episode.
when you said we love all types of wood. Balsa, blah 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 blah.
Drift.
Yeah, and I had the little squeaky little
Yep,
voice.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chop Saw is the man. I've seen him on Seinfeld a few times. Like since I've rewatched Chop Saw.
Yeah.
This actually happens a lot. Has it happened to you guys? It's happened since Ned's. I mean, pretty often I'm watching something and I'm like, oh my God, they were on Ned's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Ned's gave a lot of people their start.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, and older actors who like, I'll see something, Don Sweeney,
Oh, yeah, he's
he
been
was
working.
in Leon the Professional.
Dude.
Like he's in the hallway in Leon the Professional. I just saw like a clip someone was posting of Natalie Portman in that. And like, it's Don in the hallway, I'm pretty sure. I was like, what? This man has been around.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I always find it cool when I'm like, oh. And yeah, Seinfeld it's happened where I'm like, oh, that's Chop Saw.
Yeah.
Great, that's Dave.
Yep.
Yeah, acting is a cool profession in that sense, especially just working on a show for that many years, where you're seeing all these people in their other projects, and it's like, dang, what brought you to this moment where you're working with us here? And
Yeah, it makes me feel, whenever I see it, I just feel like even more grateful for like it's like, oh wow, yeah, what all of our careers brought us to this special weird moment on Ned's, and like you're all
and it's not going
all the
anywhere.
time.
We'll see this forever,
Yeah.
and it's always an anchor, like of sorts.
Yep. We have more in this episode. Just Jim J, Mr. Monroe, just being unbelievable. Him fighting the paper airplane with the baby.
Oh yeah. That was
Dude.
cool.
One of the best.
Dude, anytime you let Jim J just go and like break shit
And be big.
and be
Yeah,
big
yeah.
and give him the like motivation to be big. Oh my goodness. I loved that so much.
Larger than
I
life.
rewound that and watched that again.
It's great because he plays this like dainty voice and everything or whatever. He's supposed to look kind of like fragile, but his movements are so aggressive, man, and big. I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
great,
he's
man.
literally, I love that it's with the baby too. He's
Yeah.
literally like knocking shit over, using it as a weapon to get out of this paper airplane. And that was a fun little gag, the paper airplane going through the entire episode.
Oh, yeah,
and
the
That
way-
was
The
cool.
way they did that effect,
That
the
through
practical
line.
effect of it, just tying it onto like the string,
Yeah, there's
and
a
it was just,
Mm-hmm.
and
Did
it
you,
was just going around the whole.
did you see the
episode.
blooper where it didn't make it across the frame?
Oh, and just stops right there.
yeah, the paper airplane just sits in the middle of the plane, or
Yeah.
the middle of the frame. Yeah, this was a fun one.
That was some cool, real, not CGI airplane stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we did very little special effects on Ned's or visual effects, unless it's like the computer
Right.
stuff. Like,
Yeah, the
Toot,
cookies.
toot.
Yeah.
The
all of
fart.
that.
The
yeah,
fart bubble.
but we would do a lot of practical shit.
If
Yeah.
they could pull it off, they would go practical. It was
Yeah.
fun, man.
Which was really fun. This episode is detention. Did you guys get in trouble in school?
Not really.
I was pretty straight edge, man. Not even gonna lie to you. I went to detention like for random stuff, but usually it was. Well, why would I go to detention? When I played football, if you didn't like meet certain requirements, they would make you go sit in detention like randomly. So that
Like
was
if you
like
didn't like do a push up or what?
no.
With your grades?
Well, it was usually with your grades in school, like, but my grades were always solid. Why did something took place. Something took place where I didn't show up for some project assignment and something like that, and I ended up in detention. I remember that was like weird, but it was not a crazy detention, and I was a football player, so it wasn't like I was in there with people who were gonna
Do anything to
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I'll get in trouble for talking. I got good grades and teachers liked me because I was like usually engaged with the work because I actually liked school, but I was like kind of class clowny and like talked a lot. But my rule was my intuition was, if I can make the teacher laugh, she can only get me in trouble so much. So the goal was like, if I'm gonna say some shit, it better be enough to make the teacher know that it's funny. But yeah, I definitely got in trouble for just talking too much.
Wow. So I was teacher's pet. 100%.
Were you?
Oh my gosh. Every teacher I ever had would say that.
Not in our class with
not
Scott
at all.
Plimpton. Not while being
you guys
tutored on
remember?
Ned.
You're the bad guy.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah, you would fight with Scott. You guys were contentious, dude.
I mean, what?
Remind me.
She was rambunctious. I
Yes.
think she. Yeah.
No, and he loved all of us. So, listeners at home,
You would push those
Ned
buttons. You would
Ned
push those
heads.
buttons.
Did I?
That's the way I recall it.
So
Yeah.
on set, we as kids have to do school on set. You have to do 3 hours of school a day. You can only work 10 hours a day, and 3 hours of that have to be school. So anytime we're not filming, we are being rushed back to the schoolroom, and you could only build them in 20-minute blocks. So like if there was 20 minutes, you're going and getting school because that's the game that the production has to play. All the other cast members had like their own teachers, and the three of us had our tutor. And for the second and third season, we had a guy named Scott Plimpton, who's still a friend of mine. Love Scott.
Oh, the best set teacher. Or in teachers.
he is
like I
such-
remember so many teachings, not even from books, just life. that
Life.
He gave.
He really is.
And he cared.
He is the epitome of like a good educator. Like he
Yes.
cared about us as people, not just the schoolwork. He wanted us to do the schoolwork well, but he wanted us to be good.
He made us those protein shakes in the morning.
He did that,
Dang.
sweet
Those
Those
angel.
chocolate
remember?
I
protein
know.
shakes with the banana.
I know. He's a sweetheart. He wanted us to
is
be healthy.
Fantastic.
He wanted to make sure we were taken care of on set, and then he
Yeah.
wanted to make sure we were learning. And Lindsay was not teacher's
Wait.
pet.
You guys, I literally forget. Was it like over assignments that I would be upset?
Nah, you would just like fight him on shit.
Like the way he talked?
And he
Whatever
pretty much
was
anything.
there for you
Whatever
to
was there,
argue with
whatever
him about.
button.
I can't even imagine
This is
myself
great.
like that.
Yeah, because I believe you that in school you weren't that. In our school, you were that. Just whatever button. Because Scott's like so nice and so caring and so particular.
Can't even
that
say.
there's just and actually, we're kids on the show, so the other adults are they're in the industry. We got grips, we got electricians, producers. They're aware that like on the industry, even though we're kids, like we're saying cuss words. There's like a level of like, hey, it's all good. But Scott, as our teacher, he felt there's certain boundaries he didn't want us to cross as like kids and adults
Yeah.
that get crossed on set that are just like us saying whatever the fuck we want. And like, and you...
Do you guys have an example? Because I literally
Swear
can't.
words is one of them. He started to say we couldn't say swear words in the classroom, and anytime you did, you had to like put money in a jar, and you would say those swear words
Every time. Take the money.
just to get a rise out of Scott. Like literally, you were not the teacher's pet with Scott. You would press his buttons.
Wow. I don't even know why I
actively.
did that. I think it was just to get
get a rise.
attention,
Yeah. Yes.
and a rise out of all of you.
That's why.
That's so. Remember the day I pantsed you and he sent me back to my room for the rest of the day?
You just asked for me to give you an example, and you had that one ready.
Ready,
You're
yeah,
aware
right.
of.
Give me
You're
an
aware.
example.
Yeah, but like the
That-
rest of it's kind of like blocked.
Okay, that thing, it was all of them. Yeah, Scott's like, don't you, and you just pants me, and he's like,
Which-
get out.
I cannot believe like that is just like my brain flip flop. That is just so not me.
Yeah.
Not even to this day.
Yeah, but like,
It's
like
just
it was
not-
good-hearted, though.
antagonizing,
It was good-hearted.
Yeah.
antagonizing teachers. And to be honest, antagonizing Scott Plimpton is fun because he's so pure, and he has so much compassion, and he really does care about you. So it's kind of a fun man to
And
poke.
he makes it like dumb. You know what I mean? He just makes
Yes.
everything like he doesn't care to be like doesn't care if he looks dumb in front of you. You know what I mean? And then that usually makes you break. And yeah, he's just too wholesome. Too
Yeah,
wholesome
he's
for
so
words.
wholesome, and you decided to take advantage of that, which it was such a fun dynamic. I mean, being in the schoolroom together with I don't know, I found it really like fun. It's
That's
like
very-
either
We had a
we're
good
filming
time.
together or we're in there sometimes doing schoolwork, sometimes
Daniel,
just kind of fucking around.
You didn't do schoolwork when we
What?
were in there.
I didn't do schoolwork. How
No,
not?
no, no.
Go ahead.
Wouldn't it take you a minute to do it?
To do it?
Wouldn't
No.
he put it off? Wasn't he a procrastinator?
I don't
Me?
remember.
No.
It's possible.
With your math and like with anything, wouldn't it take you a minute? Like
I feel
not
like
because you were anything other than like just like not doing. I thought you were learning Pen 15 on your phone and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I
Or your calculator.
I treated school like it was like mandatory. Like I had to do it and do it.
I don't know why I have that.
Now, if I finished something and told Scott that, hey, yo, I don't have anything to work on this morning, I'm not gonna do it, then I would probably not.
I think that's what would happen is like Daniel would get it done some of the time and then just have to be in there for school. And then I do remember you like spinning in your chair and just like fucking around.
I do remember that. Like I do.
Scott had a hard job wrangling
wrangling. It's really
actor kids who are on set, hopped up on sugar, hopped up on validation and attention.
Yep.
Hopped up on hormones with the other children.
Yep.
And he has to like actually get us to learn something.
And use 20 minutes efficiently.
Right, which is so difficult. You get in there for 5 minutes.
And he's got to check on all of us on these different subjects that we're doing because we weren't studying the same
true.
stuff.
We're in different grades. Lindsay's 2 years older than us.
You were doing the Iliad, the Odyssey. What?
Yeah. There was a section of that.
Yeah.
I was doing that homeschool program. I forget what it was called, Laurel Springs, but they really didn't teach well.
They really didn't teach well.
They really didn't teach well.
And first of all, I'm only like a month and a year and 4 months older than y'all.
Okay, not 2 years.
Yeah.
To be fair.
I mean, you're acting like there's an eternity between us.
You're old.
It's a year and 4 months.
You're fucking old.
I'm fucking old.
Face it.
I will
face it. You old hag.
Cross every threshold.
Daniel and I are
sooner.
still young.
Oh yeah.
Young stallions. Dang. That's fair though.
You're old.
Because a
and
year
dusty.
for a woman is like 10.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm 10 years older than you guys.
You're past ripeness, baby.
Dang. No.
See what I mean?
No bueno.
Harsh.
Yeah. No, don't fall into that. Don't fall into it.
No, it was all fun.
Women, it's okay to be old.
Of course.
Old is good.
Yes.
Yes.
Old is better than the alternative, which is dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that the alternative?
Or sick.
Oh, that got dark.
What's been beautiful in my life is Scott was my tutor on set. I was a boy, and he was like a good friend and educator and a particular role in my life. And then I didn't go to high school. I was homeschooled through that. So Scott would like tutor me sometimes when I needed help. And so he was that to me for so long. And then as I've gotten older, like now he's my friend. Like we're friends. Like Scott Plimpton is now my friend. And I'm so grateful that I've known him this long. I'm so grateful I've known him for 20 years. I'm so grateful like that he's in my life because he has stayed this person that we knew. Like he's just a good man. He just cares like from a genuine place.
What I loved about Scott is like the pure innocence of him just permeates everything. Yeah. And the fact that he hasn't lost that or it hasn't been compromised.
He has stayed pretty damn
special.
innocent. You know, like I come back from like Burning Man and shit and like tell him stories and he's still pretty innocent, man. Yeah. Pretty innocent. It's like, you did what, Devin?
Non-judgmental.
With who?
Really?
Yeah, but non-judgmental.
With who?
Man.
Yeah.
Really, really.
How did he punish us? Like it was
dog treats.
Yeah, we shouldn't put that on air.
Detention. Yeah, maybe. Oh yeah, never mind.
No, we should.
And he
no,
would
it's funny.
make
It's
me
hilarious.
leave.
Yeah, he would just kick you out because you were causing problems. He's like, "You're chaos. Get out."
Can you believe? Like, yeah.
I mean.
Oh, and sitting on the wall was a thing too.
Oh, that was more like fun.
Detention.
I thought we were supposed to do that for physical.
Yeah, we were doing that for physical. Like we were like trying to. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were.
And the push-ups too.
It was punishment to you.
Yeah, to a degree. But hey, we didn't really get reprimanded. It's
not really. I mean, he was good. It's a weird thing being a teacher for kid actors because you have to strike a balance of like you can't just put us in our place. Like we're higher on the pecking order. Like
it's tough.
There's a hierarchy on set, and we're higher on it.
Right. I don't look at it like that. What I look at it
he does
is
he knows.
Right, but I don't.
Yeah.
He is going to compromise our job if he doesn't strike that balance, right?
Right.
And that's what I mean. I don't see it as that. I see him compromising another part of the machine.
Yes.
That is that face of the machine.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So like
no, you're right.
Gotta be clear.
You're right.
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
he can't. Sometimes a teacher has to like scold a student
exactly
and put them in their place in a particular way that you can't do with an actor who has to go film.
I think what you're trying to say is the priorities of that is like higher.
That's what I'm trying to say.
The priority of the face is, you know.
We love him. Like he was so good to us
at
striking that balance.
Fair. That is one thing I would say about him. Fair.
And he did for fun make us eat dog treats, but that was more like a fun. That was more like a fun thing. Even Scott did it. Even Scott Fellows did it.
Yeah,
like,
Scott came in and ate
to.
it. Yeah,
well, what was funny is it was these mini milk bone treats for dogs that said like there's different flavors. So it also became this thing of like which flavor tastes the best, and turns out that's just marketing and food guy.
And they
all
taste
like kind of like cardboard. I didn't even mind them. They didn't even have a flavor.
They didn't taste like anything.
Taste like anything. I think Scott wanted them to taste worse than they did and laugh at our responses. And honestly, they were fine. I could have eaten those on a tight day. You know?
On a tight day, I need the protein.
Nah.
Yeah, I could have got some gains off dog treats.
I remember thinking like,
dry.
I'm going to show them that I can eat as many. I'm not going to eat any more of these. I just tried not to eat. Like that was.
I just went in. I was like, give me every flavor, Scott. I don't care about this.
Bro.
You can't challenge me. This isn't Fear Factor. You know what I mean?
I
This
was
ain't
trying to
Survivor.
rise to the occasion.
You're gonna have to get more traumatizing if you want to scare me.
Dang.
Yeah.
Oh, world.
Fun story. Scott Plimpton, he like had a camera at that time with the dog treat day. So like he wanted to film people's reactions eating them. He like found that footage.
Oh, dope. I gotta see it.
I saw a video of like he gets Scott Fellows to do it. And of course, Scott Fellows comes up, the creator
Like a
of
champ.
the show. He comes up, he's like, what the fuck are you guys all laughing about? And like it was something with the dog treats and we're all eating dog treats and like we're gonna see how, and of course Scott just like shoves his hand in, like eats a fucking handful and walks away. Like
G, man, what a G.
Scott could
drop
never
and then
be
walk.
mic drop, eat all of them, peace out.
Yep.
Now I don't know if you guys remember, but previous to Scott Plimpton,
Mary Ellen.
Wait.
Wait, maybe. I mean, not that she's a bad person. It's
No,
just,
no,
I-
but-
Wait. I only remember Patty Foy.
Patty Foy was
Patty
incredible.
Foy was
Patty
great.
Foy, beautiful,
Yeah.
incredible. No, you don't remember Mary Ellen?
I remember.
I remember
Mary
a
Ellen.
little bit now that you say it. She was mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we were doing a little rolling around.
Okay.
On the, like,
Okay, Mary Ellen was the school teacher we had for these episodes. She was the first season school teacher, and she did not last the first season because she could not strike the balance that Scott
she was
struck.
not. Yeah, no.
She
What did she
couldn't
do to
hang
you?
with
I
I
don't
was just trying to
remember.
reprimand like really hard. I'm
she
like,
couldn't hang with us.
Hold up, fam.
We
You talking
all
like that, nah?
antagonized her because honestly, she
Wait.
was like,
I remember.
And I feel like
antagonizing
I feel
her?
like you stood
Yes.
up for me or something like that. And this was the first time I was like, Lindsay's
yes,
pretty all right.
Yeah, no. She was not fair, like not being fair. Overly harsh, not striking this balance. I do remember that.
Yeah.
She was being
Oh my God, I'm
ridiculous
so
about
glad.
something. She was just like unfair. Like she really was. And we kind of
Collectively said, "We're gonna
realized
ruin-"
like, fuck that.
We're gonna we're gonna get you fired.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, kind of, it did not work.
It needed to happen. It was a mutiny
It
that we-
was a
Yeah,
mutiny.
yep.
We committed mutiny against Mary
for all the
Ellen.
right
She
reasons,
tried
though.
All
for
the
the
right
Iron
reasons.
Hand. Yeah, not bratish. I barely remember it, but I do now that you're saying it. There's a little bit that's like
It does make me feel a little evil and good. It's just like a weird thinking back on like, oh my God, we as children just committed a mutiny against
Had
this
to stand
adult.
up for ourselves.
you're working with children in a very vulnerable environment.
And
Yeah.
Like you
it's the
have
thing
to
we
make
were
them
talking-
feel safe.
it's
It
the thing-
doesn't matter if she was good, bad person. She didn't mesh with us.
It's the thing we were talking
You know?
about. Also, we're on set. We have to go have fun and vibe and like be on camera and know like it is a weird balance you have to strike. And she just tried like to be weird and stern with us, and we all decided
Not
nope.
gonna happen. No.
And then we got Patty Foy, who was also amazing.
Lovely.
Yeah,
I think she just like wasn't around for the second season.
she
Like
probably went to
somehow we
another
got
show or
Scott.
something.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think she was just on something else because we really loved Patty. But thank God we got Scott. Like because that man.
Patty would write us notes.
Yeah, she would write
And,
little
like,
like
just nice
like
things.
supportive notes. Like she would. I forgot about that. Yeah, Patty was an angel. There are good teachers and there are bad teachers.
There are good teachers, and then there are more exclusive teachers who only work for a smaller amount of people.
Yeah, yeah, that didn't go down for us. I wonder what the other classroom was like because that was more kids. Like
Honestly,
we had
that
just
looked
us three.
like hell.
The other
looked
one had
not
all
fun.
the extras who were underage, and then all the cast, which is a bunch of us.
And it was just this dingy. Well, at least our light was
It's
bright.
like you walk in there and it just looked gray. It's like in our room it's in color. Then here like, oh yeah, don't go in there.
we
That
each
is
we each had our
literally exactly.
we each had our own desk with things on it. They
Yep,
were just on
yep.
a shared table.
like just like
Get in there,
folding
do your
chairs and
work.
folding tables. Like
Dang.
it was
You
brutal.
open the door and they all just look up. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh
we
my
were spoiled
gosh.
babies.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, that felt weirdly powerful to get an adult fired.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I thought I'd have a thirst that just continued. I'm like, oh yeah, we're firing all these people.
Yeah.
But then we just got some good teachers.
Turns out you don't have to get them all fired. You just need to
Right.
find the ones that work for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think, our quest for justice is what we're talking about.
We really,
We were our
it
own
really was
vigilantes.
about.
Yeah.
We were three little Batmen.
Yeah.
Because really, it was about like it wasn't right. We weren't being treated right. And then of course, we got Scott. And even though you antagonized Scott, that was for fun.
But he loved me too.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
He
for
loved me
sure.
even
Yeah,
more
yeah.
for all of the
Fully. And
tomfoolery.
honestly, Scott needed a little.
Right?
He needed a little
He needed
friction.
some-
He needed a
some
little
spice.
Yeah, we needed to spice things up for
Yeah.
him.
You know what was the best though?
What's that?
When you, who eternally needed to bank hours and go to school,
Yeah.
and and I would have to do my turnaround and close up to a tennis ball.
Oh,
That's
yeah, 'cause
right.
Devin had to go to school.
All right, so we shoot we shoot 2 episodes over 5 days. We shoot the 2 storylines. For example, in this one, in detention, Mose is not in it a lot. So you weren't in that episode a lot. That's a bunch of time while we're shooting our detention scenes that you're banking your school hours and you're all good.
Yeah.
Ned was in most of the storylines in both stories. So yeah, me getting school done was a hard thing that the production had to manage. And then, I forgot about that I would have to go to school and you would have to act to a tennis ball and a stand like Adam reading my lines.
So why do I remember the tennis ball? Like, why wasn't Adam just there? It was I for sure remember one time.
Usually it was so close to camera that like
Oh,
they would just
right.
like put a piece of tape
right.
or a
Tape
tennis
or a
ball.
tennis ball.
Right, and acting to the tape and to the tennis ball.
That's true. You did have to learn. Like I heard, I forget, some actor shared about like working with Tom Hanks that like he's there off camera, like giving you lines, and even if he's sitting on an apple box or whatever, like he's there for you as an actor and not all are. We had a lot where it wasn't even about being a dick. It was just like they got to go to school, so read your lines to this piece of tape. Have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, it probably was better because when another actor was on the other side, of the
They'd be
camera,
making faces
they'd
trying
be
to throw you
fucking
off
with
your
you,
game.
trying to throw
Yeah.
you off.
Yeah, the tape was always better. It
The
was easier
tape
to
was
talk to
better
the tape.
because you could just hold it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that works on a show like Ned's. Like it's fine. We were fucking around perpetually, and that kind of created. You could tell we're having fun on the show, which was a good thing. But damn, looking back, I'm like, we would literally be trying to mess up our co-actors.
Like we thought that we were that, like we're ingrained into Nickelodeon, like they can't, you know what I mean?
They can't do anything. Yeah.
Their time is ours.
yeah,
Exactly.
We're playing a game here. I'm
Right?
trying to fuck my other actors
Right?
up because it
Exactly.
makes me laugh.
Right?
Dang.
I can't believe how much I broke. I'm not one to like. I don't make many blooper reels, to be really honest with you. Like since that, but I could maybe I do make more of them than I think now. Because I wouldn't have said like that I bloopered a lot on Ned's, like a little bit of laughing, but I'm always the one randomly just like
It would
in the
happen
middle
a lot.
of the scene where you don't even hear anything happen. Like I'm just like,
Letting one out.
you know what I mean?
I love that they decided to include the bloopers
Yep.
in the credits of the episode.
Yep.
It's just it's so fun to
It's
see.
so
it just
good.
gives you an insight like, oh, look how much fun they're having. And it was real. We had mad bloopers.
Facts, man.
Do you guys remember, I'd kind of forgotten about this until starting this pod back up and rewatching. I forget the timeline of it, but like when we would wrap, I feel like on Friday nights, whatever episode they had got done
They would show it.
editing,
Yeah.
we would watch it in the gym. They would like
Yeah, that was
wheel
fun.
out
That was
a
fun.
fucking VHS like
A huge VHS
television
card
on a cart, and we'd
Bruh.
sit in the gym on the bleachers as cast and crew. And a lot of crew would leave because it'd be the end of the day and they want to go home. But like for us, it was so fun. We got to see the episodes that they would edit.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
much of it as they had. Like some scenes were like missing.
Yeah,
sometimes,
sure.
or
If there were
whatever.
visual effects that weren't in, like some shit was missing, but I had forgotten about that until like doing this. That like, oh, that was so fun. We got to like watch and celebrate. Like, oh, that joke was hilarious.
Yeah.
And like, you crushed that.
It was just such an all-encompassing experience, like all the way around, like professionally satisfying, personally satisfying. Like,
Yeah.
we all got to root each other on.
Dude, our
like,
table reads too. I had
those
a
were
great
fun.
time doing those table reads.
so good.
What days were the table reads on?
Tuesdays, I think.
They're on like Tuesdays.
I
Okay.
think.
Yeah.
They were midweek. They were midweek some point.
If you just get around that
maybe
table.
later. Maybe Thursday. Like it was like midweek because then they had to like deal with it until Monday.
Yeah. See what worked.
But yeah, get around the table, read the next week's episode.
I loved those moments, man. Seeing what worked, what didn't.
Yes. Yeah, you got to kind of like try things out. I mean, it's why the writers do it. Is like, all right, let's get the next episode on its feet. Let's see what works. Let's see what doesn't. And of course, again, we're being led by Scott Fellows. Yeah. So he's like leading the table read with his crazy Scott Fellows energy. So of course it was a good time.
I mean, and I feel like that mattered because it put everyone on one accord. Everyone's on the same page and they're understanding how he wants these jokes to flow, you know, so there's not really a question there. And you know, sometimes he would address it and say, wait, take that back.
And
A good captain of the ship. He kept boundaries throughout the entire thing that we just became norms and defaults.
Yeah. I mean, this is the same for normal jobs too. Who's ever at the head of it, it's just gonna set the whole tone. If you have someone who doesn't know what it is to be a leader, if you have someone with whatever interpersonal flaws that they don't know how to be responsible for in a leadership position, like, you know, I've had shitty bosses before. Like it happens and it changes the whole atmosphere if at the top it's like not good. And we got blessed.
Yeah.
We got blessed with a Scott Fellows. I mean, I wonder how all the directors felt because
he was a little infringy.
Yeah, because it was Scott's show and he would direct a lot, no matter who the director was.
Yeah, he's kind of like, do you want the check or not? I'm really just paying you to be here.
Yeah, I wonder how that was for them. But for
wrong.
Wrong. Frame it differently. Say it differently.
Bruh.
But he would always do it. I mean, at least to us, he would do it in a way that I was fine. Like if he gave me a line read, I'd be like, cool, let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Because he was funny. It was like, oh, that's hilarious.
I'm going to sound stupid. Why is it called a podcast? What's the pod?
A podcast.
Was it because I listened to it on an iPod at one time? iPod, for those of you who are too young to remember, was a device that you could listen to music on.
That's true. And it started with like Apple and digital, right?
I think so. Yeah,
podcast. Why is it a pod? I've never thought about this,
That
Daniel.
makes sense. Pod and then cast. There's a cast.
And you're casting it out. You're casting it out.
However you want to look at it.
Yeah, like a broadcast. Oh, it has to be a broadcast. Broadcast. Podcast.
So it's not broad, it's on the pod, not the broad.
Not broadcast, it's a podcast.
What else happened in the episode? Oh,
nothing.
He just snapped our glasses and then just
we're scared of the
and y'all are
bullies.
about to get hit with it.
And then
he's like, I'm gonna
thing.
F you up, Cookie, or some crappy
and
saying behind us.
And then what was the question that you asked?
Excuse me?
Sweeney?
Excuse me?
What is the question that you asked Sweeney?
Oh, I asked him, what is
science?
Yes. Ah, yes.
Wait, don't leave. I have a question.
Yep.
What is science? And he loves it because
perfect.
He's a science teacher.
He's a science guy.
Yep.
And then he tries to teach me it. I don't care. You're strapping him to a makeshift paperclip chain to pull us out to the toilet with him, which would have gotten weird if it... Yes, physically sound plan. Yeah. Would have gotten weird if it played out. Yeah. We'd be in the bathroom with him.
Oh, right? Well, dang.
Would have crossed the boundaries at a certain point.
Interesting point. Nickelodeon,
y'all
I see
could
what
have gotten
you did
up, couldn't have you? He wasn't moving at light speed.
Yeah.
Listen, it was foolproof. That was hijinks.
Oh man. Back to the.
How are your poops today, Lynn?
No, I'm not going there.
You refuse to bring this back to shit.
What's new detention? Jail, right? Anyone? You guys had any stints in the penal colony? I had to.
Yeah. I mean, if you really was going through a really bad time, got picked up in North Hollywood, because I was acting a fool and talking a fool, they took me to that mental place instead of being arrested and going to jail, which I super appreciated.
Nice.
I don't think I could have survived a night in jail. I'm just not that girl.
You could have.
Yeah, obviously I could have.
And you would have.
Yeah, you could have. You would have.
I can tell this story on the pod. I got a DUI. I went to jail. Yeah, never came out. But yeah, I got a DUI and I went to jail.
When?
I think I was 18 or 19.
I remember.
It was the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. I got pulled over for speeding.
Oh no!
Dude. Was it in your Scion?
Yeah. It's the only car I've ever owned. I'm driving it here, so it was in there. Yeah, this never came out, so enjoy, babies. Enjoy
Ned
heads. Enjoy my dirty little tail. No, yeah, I got arrested. I was
real detention, adult detention.
Yeah, this was big boy detention. I was under the legal limit if you're 21, but I was 18. So you blow any, they're taking you in. So it was. This always happens. I hear from people. It was like a mile from my house, which is always I was almost home. So yeah, I wasn't driving ridiculous, but I was over any amount. I think I was like 0.07, but any amount is a problem. They took me to downtown. Anytime I drive by this jail, they took me to sometimes they take you to like a local station. No, they took me to Twin Towers is what it's called. It's the jail downtown.
That's where Adam was.
Yo, what? I know. No, that is a place where both they have the drunk tank and the real people are there for 4 or 5 months, 6 months, couple years. Like it was pretty serious, man. Like that was quite the experience. I was down there in the drunk tank.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry, but I was just quiet and just like shocked. There was this moment when they were processing me. So the cops, I had the one cop who was like the young trainee who obviously had empathy and compassion for me, thank goodness. And then he was being trained by like this veteran, like hard ass, you gotta fuck with this kid. And I feel like if that veteran wasn't there, the guy might have let me off with a warning. There's different things that can happen when you're under the age limit. Sometimes they don't send you to jail. They give you the ticket. You're going to get in trouble for it, but they'll call someone to pick you up. They get to choose how this goes. But because that older cop was there, this guy took me downtown. They put me in the back seat with like a dude with like spider tattoos on his knees. Like I was locked in the back seat with like some dude.
You Uber pooled to jail?
Yeah, they Uber pooled me.
He's like, hey, we got another pickup.
Stop it! Stop.
Yeah, they Uber pooled me to jail.
How's that even like legal or safe?
Yeah, I was like a little boy.
Wait, were you handcuffed?
Yeah,
yeah, they handcuffed.
I think so. Yeah, and he was rough. Got put into this one. Before I got put into the tank, the young cop, the veteran had left. The young cop's processing all the paperwork and all the shit. I had a fake ID at the time.
Ooh.
And it was in a particular flap in my wallet. And I remember this moment, dude. I'm sitting there just quiet. No one's in the police station. Like he's doing paperwork. He's dealing with my things. I'm sitting there. He flips open the wallet and I see the extra flap like open up and I see him stop for a second, realize what he just saw, which is like a second ID and he already has my ID. And he double takes, he opens the flap, he sees the fake, he looks at me, and I just looked away, just with like horror in my eyes. And thank God, he just shook his head, didn't take the fake ID, he put it in the bag that I'm gonna get back when I get out. Like I got it back when I got out. That a fake ID can be a felony. Like it can be a much bigger charge than just like a DUI. So he took compassion on me. Thank God. He looked at me. What
an idiot. He at least should have cut it up.
That's what he could have done. But I think then he has to like deal with, you know what I mean?
Right,
I think the smoothest thing was just like,
turn your head away.
Yeah, and thank God, because that could have been a bigger thing. But yeah, so then they put me in like a group jail with adults, man. And there was one kind of like scary guy.
Wait, how old were you at the time?
Like 18, 19.
Oh, you're an adult.
I was an adult.
Yeah, go
but
ahead.
I looked 15. You know, I looked like a little baby boy. So then what happened, like it was hours, it was long, it was late at night. Then I got put into like the big drunk tank and you're kind of just waiting to be processed and released. I guess there's a certain amount of hours when you have a DUI, they put you in the system. Eventually the system kicks you to hey, it's time for you to go. So you're just there waiting with no daylight. Don't know what the fuck time it is. Like disoriented, hard to sleep, obviously.
And you're waiting for an unspecified amount
of time. You don't know how long you're going to be in there. The phone system is absolute horseshit. It's so difficult, but eventually I called my sister. It's one number that I had. Called my sister.
Yeah.
And of course it lets her know like jail is calling you. And so she like shit her pants. No. And it says my name, like Devin. And I tell her
would you like to accept the charge?
Yeah. This is a call from LA Correctional Facility.
Collect
just a little sad voice.
Devin.
So it's like the middle of the night. It's like 5 a.m. She said like she's shitting her pants because I call her obviously to try and avoid my parents. But she said she didn't know what to do, so she has to wake up my mom. And they, on their end, they have to start dealing with how to get me out, getting me a lawyer, all this shit. I'm just in there. I don't know. The phone system, I could barely hear her. I didn't know what got through. So then I'm sitting there for an unspecified amount of time. It's pretty horrifying. But then there was also this moment where it was like a little bit like the Breakfast Club, where like everyone's still a little drunk. I kind of wasn't at that point, but like some people got arrested at like 1.4 blood alcohol, like or 0.14. Like they were still drunk, so there was kind of still a buzz in the air for a moment where like everyone's sharing kind of how they got pulled over, and it started to open up a little bit. All these like grown ass men. At a certain point, one of the dudes looked over at me and made a joke, which was so funny. He was like, "Man, look at how fuck old are you? Like, you look like you should be on the Disney Channel or something." And I was like,
The thing is,
Some of them were like in real trouble. Like one of the dudes was like, "This is my third strike. Like, he's gonna go to jail for a while after this." One of the dudes was like, "I totaled my cousin's car." Like there was some shit, dude. So once the Breakfast Club thing opened up, like everyone wore off their buzz and then it dipped.
to the hangovers.
Yes. Then it was just sad and quiet and like, and just time passing. And I'm sitting there processing like my whole life, you know, like I don't know what's gonna happen when I get out, my career, like what this means, what this looked like, my family, like all of this shit.
The mystery and uncertainty, I'm sure.
Dude,
That's what's
I
horrifying.
can't imagine each minute. Like,
And I would knock out for a little bit, like sleep for a little bit, and then you wake up and you don't know how
I want to wake
long.
up in my bed at home. Oh god, we're still here.
And you wake up and you don't know how long you've been there.
How long have been out?
And
That was a weird sound. I've never sounded like that. But yeah.
they were pulling people one by one to get processed, do their fingerprints. I like never got pulled, and it was weird. It had been a long time. It had been hours, and like it got weird. They start pulling people also to like leave. Like certain people get to leave. So I don't know. It was all weird. At a certain point, they called on me, and they took me to the next place where you go to get let out, which is this hallway of rooms that everyone is in there who's in the queue to get out. So this is people who have been in there for months for different shit. Then I was in a room where I was like, oh, this just got more serious. Like this isn't the drunk tank. Like some of these dudes, like it was not chill. And you know, I look like a little baby boy at 18. I still look 15. Like I'm a little...
They were on their best behavior though. I'm sure they don't want to go back.
Yeah, no one's trying to go back, but it was like, holy shit. Like I'm now here with like people who have been in here for months, maybe a year, like, and now we're in this waiting space to get out. When I finally got out, there was a very famous celebrity lawyer there named Mark Garagos. Thank you, sir. Paid you a lot of money, but thank you, sir. Who had gotten me out. And he said, like, Devin, if I hadn't have called, he's like, I had to make them find you in the system. Something happened where they forgot to process me. So I wasn't even in the system. I wasn't in the queue to get out. And this was the Wednesday of Thanksgiving now. If he didn't get me out that day, I would have been in there for days, dude. That was mind blowing. And so yeah, he got me out. He drove me to his office, and then because it's Thanksgiving, my fucking grandmother picked me up. Like my grandmother from Pennsylvania was in town, and like my grandmother picked me up from fucking jail. And honestly, that's what she was so sweet.
That's actually so
she was
beautiful.
Like, it's okay. She literally was like, it's
What a
okay,
treat.
Devin.
That is support.
She was a sweetie
support.
pie. My parents, not happy.
Right.
Not happy with your boy. Dude, that was a rough Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Devin. You ruined Thanksgiving.
Bro.
And that was one of the only Thanksgivings that I didn't come over.
Yeah, because we all, I mean,
we would always go to Devin's for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you didn't come for that one, but we still had like 14 people. We still had friends and guests over. And they were just shitting on me the whole time.
Dang.
They were just shitting on me and getting drunk. And I was just there being shamed, but rightfully so. Yeah. I mean, I fucked up. I have had a lot of blessings in my life, and this was like not honoring my parents. You know, this was not doing well. I got out of it clean. Yeah. I got out because of that lawyer. It never went on my record. I had to pay money, and I lost my license for a year, which was the punishment that kept on giving. At 18, 19, having my mom drive me to auditions again, have my girlfriend have to pick me up for dates. I can't drive. Molly, yeah. That was a rough year without the license, but it didn't go on my record. It never came out in the press. In hindsight, I kind of wish it did come out in the press. It might have changed my image. It might have made me cooler.
Oh.
You know, I needed a little edge. I was too nice.
I mean,
I should have go to detention to get validation, people at home.
Whoa!
You don't have to be
a bad guy to get validation, although it probably would have helped my career. No, I'm just kidding. Kidding. No, it might have not. I'm
it's never too late to test it out. You know, you can always go back.
I am like floored the number of times that I drove just. And not even with alcohol, just like on any substance, like mushrooms, like anything. And
your first hit and run you explained in the last podcast.
Yeah.
This is great.
No, you were sober.
I was literally coming back from Devon's from making out. I was on a makeout.
This was Ned's time. We weren't doing anything.
I was always drunk coming home from Devon's. I never left Devon's. Yeah. Okay, it was during Ned's.
Yeah, when we were like, well, not during, but right after when we wrapped and we were like dating,
making out
for that little period.
Laying the smack down.
That's right.
Good stuff.
And but
it was a good lesson.
One time I was driving back from your house too, and I lived all the way in Santa Clarita, right? So I had to take like two freeways to get back home. And so I'm on this one, and I'm already late for curfew, and this police officer is going back and forth across the lanes like it's a police stop, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And I just whips back.
You go
just
past.
Kept going. Oh no.
Oh yeah, people might not know this. I don't think it happens in every city, but in LA,
I had no idea. I was like, what?
In LA, cops do this thing if there's say there's debris on the road that they need to clear. Cops will do this thing where they get at a point in traffic and they weave across all 5 lanes to stop the traffic for a moment. And it's weird when it's happening in front of you. You're like, what the fuck? I'm on a freeway.
All I knew is I gotta get home, dude. My mom is gonna come.
So you're just trying to scoot past the
They go over the loudspeaker, right? Ma'am, pull over. Obviously, the thing on the road was secondary now at this point.
Yeah.
They pulled me over at the next stop.
Yeah, they did.
And I remember
the whole operation.
I had drank a beer, right? And I think I had smoked some whatever. And weed, not crack.
You can say it.
It's best that you say it.
It's better.
I just started sobbing, but not because I was trying to get out of anything. I was seriously just sobbing.
Yeah, you were frightened.
We were under this freeway overpass, and he comes to the window and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've just never been in trouble like this before, and I'm just trying to get home." And he's like, "All right, stay safe and never do that again." Yeah,
dope.
It was amazing. And then the last time I was super stoned and a little bit drunk driving in Malibu. The car that I had at that point, the registration was expired. My license was expired.
Oh my God. Lindsay, no.
I was ashing in a wine bottle that was open in the car, smoking a J. And I get stopped by this Malibu trooper. And oh my God, he comes to the car and he's like, "Ma'am, how much weed is in the car?" And I tell him the amount, and he's like, "All right, step out of the car." And then I go, "I'm so sorry, I lied. There's 3 more joints in my pocket. I'm so sorry." And he's like, "All right, ma'am, turn around." And he puts me under arrest, and I'm just once again, I just start sobbing. Dang. And he puts me in the back of the car, and he runs the thing, and he's literally I'm sobbing, and I'm just being I know that my choices in my life right now I'm just having this out loud diary moment. And he goes, "Is there anything else in the car?" And I was like, and he goes, "Turn around and get the fuck out of Malibu and don't come back here."
Dang.
Stay out of Malibu, Lebowski.
Wow.
Get the fuck out of my beach town, Lebowski.
Right? That was it. And he goes, like, you're gonna get caught. And I sold that car like the next day because it was like just a piece of crap.
You are so lucky. That is
good.
so many.
Yeah.
That is so many issues.
I know, and big issues.
Driving with an expired license, they can really do some shit.
I also like the reason I don't have a car now. Backed into a lady and should have been arrested by a police officer. Yeah, no, she was in a car.
Okay.
Should have been arrested there for DUI. A tow truck who scans like the area came upon us before the cops and took my car to the body shop with me. I had this like blackout rage in the bathroom because I was just drunk and it was coming in and out of like whatever. No. Nothing happened. I sold that car too, like right on the spot at that auto shop and just went like that by the end of the day.
Oh, hey, clean getaway. Nice.
So I know that something is like, I'm trying to give you a chance.
Yes.
Yeah, take it.
Take the chance.
I took it. Mine was like, I'm semi-glad it happened because it happened pretty gently. Like 0.07, didn't get out publicly.
Right.
Wasn't on my record. Like,
that's
I kind of
huge.
got off, but had enough of a punishment with my family, with the license gone for a year, with the money, like
with having to stay in jail.
All of that was enough that it did like rearrange my fucking priorities. I might have been getting a little too, we all like go through pushing boundaries as teenagers. Some push them just well past. Yeah, some like Lindsay push way further than you need to.
Yeah,
but we all do it. There's a level that you have to. And this pushed back in a way that was like good learning for me. It also humbled me with my parents. I was becoming a little bit of an asshole with my parents. It was that time of my life where I'm like, I'm independent, even though I'm not. I need them. I still live with them. Like all these things. And so it did correct it did adjust me in the right way. So I'm actually like, that was one of those life things that was like, okay, let me not do that shit again.
Did you pee or poop there?
Okay, good question.
I don't remember. I don't think I pooped. But yeah, the toilet is in that room. That group room that we're all in, there's just a fucking toilet.
Dang.
There's just a toilet. I think there's like a half a wall. So if you want to poop, you can still make eye contact with everyone, but they don't see your poop. I think. It's
like the half thing?
Yeah, but it's like, it's just in the room, dude. It's just there with you. You're all in the room and like.
I want to make a short film about that. Just like the eye contact through a cell.
Dude, not even through a cell. You're just in a big room with everyone. Just like, yeah. Look away, spider knees.
I know you smell me. I know you smell me, dog.
Yeah, you like that smell, spider knees?
Wait, was the smell horrendous?
So I just remember just the quiet shame and terror that everyone was feeling.
Right.
So some people did get up and take poops.
I think so, yeah. I think you had to. We were in there. I mean, I think
it's interesting.
I think I was in there like 14 hours or something. Like, you gotta poop at some point. But I don't think I did. Listen, remember, I never pooped in school. I was
he's like, I'm holding
that shit. That shit.
Grandma gets there and he's like, take me to the bathroom.
Grandma, I need to poop.
I've been holding this in for 14 hours.
Dang.
Give me a cigarette. I gotta take a shit.
Yo, my nervous bowels would have betrayed me for sure.
So would have Daniel's. We heard that. That's
I'm going. I'm taking my shit, guys. Y'all
right?
have to deal with it.
Dude, what a weird experience. Let's wrap this thing up. I think the tip of this episode for me is don't drink and drive.
Yes.
I mean,
no, and I mean that so seriously. Like, you have to look back at your past and unpack it a little bit and take responsibility for those things.
This was pre-Uber.
Right.
Uber is a blessing. Well, some of yours weren't, but
she's like, I just chose.
I was like, don't do that, man.
Don't drink and drive.
Yeah,
don't drink and drive, guys.
Don't.
It's terrible.
No, it's
don't meth and drive either.
It can literally ruin your
life. Don't
life.
meth and drive. Don't coke and drive.
Don't do any and drive.
Just it's scary. It's really, really scary. Like to have to wake up and check your car the next day. Dude. Like, because you don't know how you got home.
And I have had friends who got DUIs under way more extreme circumstances. Like, luckily, no injuring people, but like a buddy of mine got his DUI. He he was way drunk and crashed into a parked car, like, and totaled both cars. Like, wow. That's a different experience. Like, yeah, do not test those limits. It's not worth it. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode. If you want more content, if this wasn't enough for you, make sure you subscribe to our Patreon to get all the bonus goodies. Welcome back to the show. Ned, Mose, and Cookie, we're adults, and we're reviewing episodes some of the time and reminiscing. Today, we are answering your questions that you have submitted to me via Instagram. So
Instagram, of course.
For future episodes, if you're a listener, if you're a Ned head out there, you're thinking, how do I get my question answered by Ned, Mose, and Cookie? You got to follow us on Instagram. And every now and then, I'll throw up on the story. I won't throw up on my story. I will put up.
I will, if somebody asks for that.
Depends on how much they pay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We'll put up a little box that says ask us questions, and we'll go through them, and maybe we'll answer your question.
Yeah.
Sure.
Questions, no comments.
No comments, please.
Questions only.
No comments,
Preguntas.
no critiques, please.
Darn
Only
it.
questions.
Questions.
I get enough of those. Thank you.
All right.
You want to start us off with one?
So, Michael J, 2 M's. So that's what the came
Michael J.
from.
Fox. Let's hear it.
Well, tips for being an artist turning 30.
Oh. Continue to reinvent yourself. You've been an artist turning 30.
We've all
Yeah.
been an artist turning 30.
No, me too. Yeah.
I really think you got to reevaluate once you turn 30. And it's okay to say that different things mean either more or less to you now, and maybe something like maybe you just reassess your goals and reassess what really makes you happy. You know, I think being an artist is incredible, but I also think a life of like that I can feel secure in is important for me, even as an artist. So that security comes in kind of like pursuing other things, and also in figuring out that everything that you do in your life is like sort of an art form, and to do it on your own is just as noble as to do it in front of other people. But you kind of got to look at why you're looking at what you're looking for to be successful as an artist, right? To call yourself that or whatever. But I think art happens every day. What did Ralph Waldo Emerson say? To affect the day is the highest of arts.
I love that so much. I'll just like add to that because that's it. It kind of happened to me. Like turning 30 forced me. I didn't have to consciously do it. Life hit me kind of hard when I turned 30, and like I had to reassess and reinvent. And I think through your 20s, like go out and fail. Go out and have dreams, let them change, try for them, let them fail, learn things, grow. It's all good. Do that your whole fucking 20s. Shit hit different when I turned 30. That security does become more of a thing. It's like, hold on, all these artistic dreams that I pursued in my 20s, a lot of them I didn't hit, and they were supposed to provide me with the security that I was looking for.
That I need. Security as in food, as everything.
Yes. Beyond just like personal spiritual security. No, my like security in life. And turning 30, you really have to look at like, how am I going to get to the life that I want? And you really have to ask those different questions. What do I want my life to look like in the next 5-10 years? What does security look like to me? What does my art look like to me? What hasn't worked over my 20s? Like a lot of it for me was processing my 20s. What worked? What didn't? What do I need to change? What do I need to adjust? What do I need to let go of?
Where am I self-sabotaging?
Yeah.
Right? Where have I stayed stagnant? So even though I've been an artist since I was 21, nothing has really changed in my artistic repertoire or what I can offer now that I'm turning 30, right? So that tells me either A, you're not focused on the art, or B, it just doesn't draw your interest, or you feel like you don't, like it's not something you want to work on, right? Or you feel like maybe you don't actually want to be seen and you're grappling with that. So you can want things and not be totally, equipped to do them.
Yeah, I saw a great meme that said like being an artist is constantly and simultaneously wanting to be seen and wanting to hide.
Yep.
And you're like constantly dealing with these two forces, and I feel that.
Yeah.
And yeah, at 30, you just got to assess. For me, I like got to reassess my failures and my wants, and do I still want to do this? Because I could hop off the artist train or like make it much more personal, just have like my music for me, maybe, you know, read plays and still enjoy it, but take the pressure off like my big dreams and shit.
Yeah.
But I got to reassess, am I still like in this for the next 10, 20 years? Like I got to recommit, and I found inside myself, man, I love this shit. I'm doing it for the rest of my life. Like I'm in it. I'm in it. But I had to recommit. I had to come back to it.
Yeah.
And then it's empowering.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not doing this just because I've been doing it so long. I chose in the now. Oh no, I'm still doing this.
Yeah.
I'm in these streets.
In these streets, I'm out here.
Yeah.
One thing that I'll add, since he asked for tips and, you know, mentioned the 30s. The 30s kind of means adulthood. A rigid tip to add on to that is monetize your craft. Some people have not done that, and I know that myself, I struggled with monetizing it because have been so airy, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm doing this because I love it, and people will see my expression, and they'll da-da-da-da. But you also got to keep those lights on, and I hate to make it about money because it should be detached, but it's so intertwined. Well, if you love this art, then you have to do everything around it to allow you to continue to do it.
We live in a society where it's not like you can just be artists. You live in an industry too, right? So you do some things for art, you do others for commerce.
Yeah.
And both of those things keep you within an industry where sometimes you get to do really good work.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. Music's been a strange one for me. I absolutely love music. It's a part of me. I've gone through different phases with it. I was signed to Universal at a certain point. Really thought I was
phase. You
thought I was gonna have phase. Yeah. Thought I was gonna be like a big artist. What that fell through. Started working with these other producers. Thought that was gonna happen. This cycle with music throughout my life, it's just to kind of speak against your point a little bit. Even though I agree entirely, you have to find how you're gonna pay your bills. Like you cannot leave that, and your art is a good place to monetize. However, every time I've pursued music, the industry side of it, the commerce side of it, really hard and like tried to make shit happen with it, after a certain point, it burns me out and I don't want to touch it for a while. I don't want to touch music for a while. I went through a year after like hustling it, did the Patreon, was making music all the time.
The performance with Seal at Hollywood Bowl
was fucking huge. I was like in it and on my music path, but something about like turning it into this sale and need for it to come back to me in a certain way disconnected me from like my love of it. So it's a weird thing when it's an art because it can pay your bills and it needs to be external in some ways, but also some of our art is so like personally connected to us, and it's a weird balance to strike between that art and commerce some of the time.
And you don't only have to sell your art. Sometimes you have to sell other things in order to be able to do your art.
Exactly. But yeah, no matter what, in your 30s, I think you can no longer just accept that I'm an artist and I don't have money.
But here's the deal. At the end of the day, you just have to know what works, what is most important to you. If it's to be free and you think that comes outside of financial free, you just got to honor you, but don't be mad at a life that you don't even know, like you don't even know really what you're asking for, right? Like you got to just be kind of tuned in to what you're looking for. If you really want security, don't bash yourself over the head that you're not going to be the starving artist, right?
Right.
Like I had to tell myself that a long time. I mean, I thought I was like this ride or die for the craft, and I am. But I'm always going to have a roof and something to eat other than SpaghettiOs. I'm going to try and do that, whether I have to work inside or outside of acting at all. Like I'm going to make sure that that's my baseline. And I have worked a long time at other jobs that were not acting, that were, you know, at the front of a yoga studio, working in a law office. Like I can't just go by and not feel, because that for me makes me less artistic than you know.
No, it does, because it's not sustainable.
Exactly.
So you have to find a way to sustain.
It's survival. Yeah. And that's another thing that creates a need for art as opposed to like this space for art.
That's a point.
Dude,
nice.
That too. When fucking I need an audition, I need to book an audition for my survival. What an awful place to be in. Like for my actual, like I need this paycheck. Dude, that's brutal, man. Now I'm not free to fucking make choices. Now I have this weird attachment need. Like it's not good. It's not good. Yeah.
Nope. And you try to fill all these holes that you think they're
looking. I know.
It becomes so stilted, so stiff, so performance.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. Great question. Thanks for that.
I loved that because that's definitely,
It's
been
a thing.
been a theme of my 30s so far.
Same.
Is reconciling that.
Same.
Yeah.
And really asking what I want. I spend time now, especially we drive a lot in LA. I spend time in my car sometimes like actively saying, okay, while I'm driving, I just want to spend this time just ruminating on what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? What do I want it to feel like? What do I want? And just asking that question forward, it's been really helpful actually taking conscious time to think through it and feel through it and feel into it. Yeah.
Manifest.
Thanks for the question. I like this one because I just want to bring up a certain part of my life. You were there for some of it, Daniel.
Turn up group.
Gma fan. Yeah. Asked, how was Hollywood Valley life? They said during Ned's, but I'm going to take it after Ned's. And they said any cool parties or only in LA moments. And I just want to take the moment to share. So third season of Ned's, my family and I found this house to rent in the Hollywood Hills.
Perfect.
We were just going to rent it for 6 months. It used to be owned by Anthony Kiedis of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He was 2 owners before us, so we started renting it from the owners who got it from him. Like, that was just cool LA history. We're in Anthony Kiedis' house in the Hollywood Hills. It was up near the Hollywood sign. It was this fun, like, just great house for me and my family. We thought we'd be there 6 months. Then the owners wanted to sell it. And my parents kind of loved it so much and couldn't super afford it, but they were like, we have to take this house. Like, we can't let go of this house. It's such a special property. So my parents bought that house in the 3rd season of Ned's. And so post Ned's, like during Ned's, we would go up there and have parties in the backyard. But post, once we got older, because during Ned's, we were all little baby children. But post Ned's up into my teenage years, I don't think my parents had ever left me alone in that house for like a night. They like never went on trips without us or something. But then when I think I was 18 and they left for like 10 days on a vacation and me and all my friends knew like, oh, it's on. Like it's on. And literally we had like a week of like Hollywood movie style teen party
beer
ragers,
pong, bro.
Beer pong in the house, which was so dumb. I never did that again. We had a backyard, so that's where the beer pong goes. We were playing it in the fucking dining room. I could not get the beer smell out of that house for like weeks. So when my parents came home, they were like, "Yeah,
you've been in here."
But they knew at that point I was 18. Like, as long as like we didn't trash the house, I didn't tell them I was having the party. When they smelled the beer, it's like they weren't stoked, but obviously like they weren't like coming down on me for it because we took care of the house. We like cleaned it up after. It was all good. But I still remember for they were gone 10 days. So we did like 2 weekends of just fucking literally like I feel like hundreds of kids and
all of
at
Hollywood
that time,
would come through.
Yeah, I mean Vinny and Kyle from Phantoms, dope electronic act. They were there. I think Vinny like spilled some wine and Drew like got on him about it of like, respect the fucking house, bro.
Yeah.
I think Nick Braun was there.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah, Nick Braun. Like, man, if you could have been there, if you could have seen it. And it was kind of like phones weren't as, everything wasn't being documented.
Oh yeah,
then.
we were just living
I don't think I have any photo from those experiences, like any. And it's kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
But I wish I could see some images from those parties because they were just, it was too many people. We packed my fucking house. It was so fun.
It was epic, man. We would be on top of the roof, everything. I smoked my first joint on top of your roof, man.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That wasn't during that party, but that was just me and Daniel. It was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. We were like looking at the Hollywood sign, just talking about life. Daniel was a good boy, right?
Yeah,
Daniel
man.
was a good Christian boy with ideas about right and wrong.
Yeah.
And then as you do as a teenager, you start to stretch these boundaries. And I got to smoke Daniel out for his first time. And man, it was beautiful.
It was lit. It was lit.
It was literally lit.
Yeah.
Good times, man. Good times.
That's incredible.
Yeah. I just want to share that. But
And Daniel, have you smoked since?
Marijuana. The marijuana's,
Never again.
Once you pop, you just can't stop. Whoa. No. Yeah. I'm more of an edible guy these days.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah. Weed has a special place, but you got to get things done in life. So you're not always gonna want to choose that, And I guess it's no longer just a California thing. I guess more of these states are like legalizing it and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a nice alternative to all the other horrible, vices you can have.
Yeah, I think in balance, it can serve an amazing thing. It can serve an amazing purpose at times, and sometimes it can be a problem.
Yeah. How about yourself? You ever interacted with the marijuana? Cannabis?
Let me think.
You skipped that and just went right to...
No, every night ended with the cannabi.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
And like, even like we were at like there was a young Hollywood at the time. Like it was a small community of us out here living this experience. So they're definitely not just at my house. Like you would end up at parties that like all of us kids, anyone who was on Disney and Nick at that time, we all had some overlap somewhere.
Yep.
And like, and any teenager, you're going to parties as a teenager sometimes. And like, this was no different.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'd all end up somewhere sometime. Oh,
my God, I'm just trying to
did you just
my lower
did you just
back.
fart?
Yeah.
I swear you just
Where are
ripped
your
ass,
manners?
dude.
Yeah.
I swear you just turned and just like pulled a fart out of your
Yes, I
ass.
did.
You're right. Dug deep for that one.
It sounded like you
He goes,
really
"Don't
like.
you dare take your face away."
Oh. Oh.
I have my lower like back because
Ass?
I'm
Your
fucking-
lower
Your
ass?
lower back. Your
My lower right. You want? It's right here. It's right.
I know where
there.
the anus is, Lindsay.
I know where it's located.
I know
It's
where
like
farts
painful.
are made.
Oh my god.
Andy M94 asks, Carmelo Anthony es una gran persona?
Is he a good person? Oh, you met him.
Yeah,
For
he was on our show.
Yeah. For
He
sure.
was on our show for an episode.
Right
yeah,
on.
of course. I just wanted.
up.
Yeah, of course. Carmelo
Everybody who
Anthony.
came on
Él
guys was
está un
sweet.
gran persona. Sure.
Oh.
Sure.
Go on.
Bang bang.
Oh, this is a Ned's question. Glad Fit Man asked,
Glad fit man.
what are the capabilities / limitations of the little chip on Cookie's glasses?
Ooh, I'll dive deep.
I'll let you answer that.
So, those glasses have all of the capabilities and limitations of Google Glass, which came out. Cookie was able to surf the web, all right, so he could access whatever information he wanted, kind of like Wikipedia. He could just search some terms. He could also hack into any type of electronic transmissions that were happening anywhere else. So that was a great tool to have. He could hijack GPS, man. So much stuff. And this little viewfinder, or this little thing he was twiddling was like the mouse, There we go.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I've heard people ask, I think people got confused that we reference Cookie as a cyborg so often that like I feel like people ask me like, was he like actually a cyborg?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, no, that's how we referenced him because he used technology and had augmented reality with it. Like you're not an actual robot.
Yeah, what is that, a meta-human? What would you call someone like... He's like, is he? He's like, is he? Where do you plug him up? Where do you plug him up? But yeah, no, that was some great stuff, man.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to be like an actual robot. You know what I mean? I can't reference one person on this because I've actually seen a lot of people asking something along the lines of, how do I deal with a breakup? How do I get over an ex? Like there's like a bunch in there where people are asking for that time, which is something we're going to go through many times in our life. But how do I deal with that time where I've been broken up with or a breakup, getting over someone? Yeah, I will start and say every breakup, and especially the bigger ones from bigger relationships in my life, have been really sacred times after that breakup. Painful, raw, but there's something about that heartbreak that kind of clarifies what matters in my life. There's something that like, if you actually slow down trying to escape that heartbreak, but just kind of come back to yourself and feel it, I have always found like this truth comes back to me. This voice comes back to me. Because in the relationship, we were creating a we. There was a we. And I was doing something in relation to this other person. And it was beautiful and great. And parts of letting go of that and grieving that are terrible and it hurts. And it's uncomfortable in the transition. However, I'm always coming back to myself after a breakup. I'm not less of me. I'm coming back into myself of not being I'm not referencing this other person anymore. And yeah, I think for me, it's like, it's not looking back. It's not trying to hold on. It's feeling everything that comes up. Because there's a whole process. I mean, however long you were in that relationship, I don't know what the math is, but there's a certain amount of time where you're still going to be processing that relationship. However long
I thought
you
it was
were
like
together.
double the time that you were together?
No. I thought it was half. I thought it was the opposite.
Oh, that's I think what
I think it's like however long you were together, half of
that
it is gonna be this process of uncoupling, and you have to let the feelings come that come. You're gonna pass by all sorts of things that remind you of the good times, all the things you did together, and part of that is letting those feelings come, but also like, man, I just send myself during those times so much love, even from here, because I had to put myself back together after each one, and I really expanded after each major breakup. So like, embrace the time, take your time back, do things that are good for you. Don't run from the feelings all the time. Sit in them sometimes. I think you have to strike a balance between of like distracting yourself from the pain and feeling it, because I think you got to do both. Like at a certain point, you can't just sit in it and cry all the time. You got to like go have some fun and distract yourself, even if it's for a moment. But it's a beautiful process learning how to come back to yourself after a breakup, and like, don't try and skip it. That's part of what you signed up for by getting with anybody. It's part of the deal, man. It's probably not gonna be forever. That's not how it works almost ever.
Yeah. Most things in life don't last forever.
That's my how do you survive a breakup.
My part of it is take responsibility for your side of the breakup. And I think creates a lot of freedom and a lot less like displaced longing more like, oh, okay, maybe that is actually something I wanted. Like this all behavior wasn't really paying attention, or at least it starts to make more, you know what I mean?
Yes,
sense
definitely.
When you can't. This is the biggest thing that I've like learned healing myself is you got to keep your side of the road clean. And when you do that, I don't know, the heart, I don't know, it's a little more fertile for the grief or something. Like, because it's like, it's not this, it's like, okay, this was me, and maybe this is something I wanted, I wasn't able to say, or like, you know,
this is my part of
how long has this been coming? How was I blindsided by this?
What did I miss?
What was I not paying attention to?
Yeah, what was I avoiding?
What
were the red flags I avoided?
Nothing. No, I was gonna say, what is the question? I'm sorry, no, but it was so heartfelt. I love what you're saying. Oh my god. Yes. How do you survive a breakup? Oh, okay, cool.
Daniel's he doesn't even know.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
He's like, you just
He's like, what do you
give
mean?
them their stuff.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Get them
You fucking send them along and keep living your life the same way.
Thank you, young lady.
You say thank you and peace.
You say thank you.
Dang.
And you just keep doing the same thing
right?
you're doing.
And then you make dinner and you look at your schedule for tomorrow.
That part. No adjustments. All right.
No, it's always been a deep survival period post a relationship. But that's also because I like merged identities with them, and I had to come back to who the fuck am I now, you know?
I'm a little nervous because I've never gone through a breakup sober.
Wow.
So that, I think, I'm not like worried, but I'm just like, just dealing with all those like
you've
emotions.
Never done it without jumping to the things.
Without jumping to something to like numb it out.
That's gotta be tough.
It might be tough. It might be fucking beautiful, dude. Like parts of it will just be tough, but it might be beautiful. Like when you aren't numbing the pain of like a good breakup, one that really stings. I'm telling you, like this voice can come through that's so clear for you. Yeah. Because it's not about them anymore. It's like, hey babe, here you are, you know?
I think that the like the BPD after those episodes, plus the addictive behavior, the undiagnosed BPD, it's just a chronic dysregulation of emotions. Like you just can't get a handle on it, no matter like if it starts to like get out of the whatever And so I think now that I have looked at that and have it diagnosed, that's going to be an interesting part. But a lot of those runs to drugs were just all of this like emotional energy that I couldn't regulate, couldn't handle, couldn't push away, couldn't like get out of, like just couldn't, you know? And I didn't feel like I had anybody or any space because number one, I wasn't creating relationships that I could go to for support. And number two, I didn't trust my familial, like I just didn't trust a lot of other support. And so, So hopefully those will be a lot better with the PD now that that's under control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Embrace your breakups, baby.
Yeah.
Honest.
What you got, Daniel? You got another question for
You
us?
got another question for us. And I mean, it's right along the same lines. All right. This Ned head called creating _Lauren. Let's get it correct. Asks, in relationships, how do you know when someone isn't the one for you?
I love this question because I saw it in there too and I wanted to get to it. Here's my take on this.
Okay, so can I tell you just one thing? That you told me before you went to Burning Man with a certain somebody that you like. It was weird being in the relationship, but knowing that it like wasn't
the one.
Yeah, like you literally told me that, and we had like dinner some random night, and I was like, that's so interesting.
Yeah, I've had long-term relationships where I knew it wasn't
From how far in?
the one. Getting into it. I didn't want the one. I was young. It was like I wanted a girlfriend and I wanted a relationship and I wanted it to be good. It's not like I was shitty, but I don't think I wanted to think it was forever. I was like, I'm fucking like 19 or I'm fucking 20 something. Like, I don't want the one. What I want to say about the one is I think it's a beautiful idea and fantasy, but I think ultimately it plays out toxic for all of us. This idea of the one.
For me, yeah.
Because I met someone where I felt this about, it came through me, through my feelings that I trust, my intuition, I trust. I said, this is the one, this idea of soulmate. And then we believed into it and it was beautiful and we created this fucking thing. Ultimately, she ended up not being the one and I had to leave. And then I had to process. Wait, like I knew for years, I knew 1,000% this is my one. For it to end, I had to let go of that idea entirely. I think guys, there's a lot of people and there are special people for you. Yeah. But I think there are ones.
Yeah, totally.
There are ones. Guys, don't make someone like, oh my God, this is the only person who will ever get me, who will ever be right for me. Yeah. This, I think it's a toxic idea because you're setting yourself up for codependency. You're setting yourself up for devastation. And I don't think it's true.
Yeah.
I don't think you can be with everybody, but I think there are definitely plenty of people in this world of 8 billion.
It's kind of like
that you can match with well.
What you said about that cycle, creation, maintenance, destruction. That is some moldy ass lettuce up in that,
Yes.
It can get to be.
It can get there. And if you're holding on, it's a fantasy. The idea of the one is a fantasy.
Yeah.
And fantasies are beautiful to dream about, but you got to live in reality. Yeah. And like, you can get stuck on how many of us, I'm sure you listeners out there, how many of us have stayed in something well past its moldy fucking time.
Simply because of that mindset.
Simply because of this idea, this is my one though. It's like, no, baby, you're your one.
Okay, so
you're your one.
Now that we know that there is no just one, at least we've established that, how do you know this one isn't one of the ones?
How do you know it's not the one?
How do you know when they aren't the one?
When they aren't.
Well, there isn't a one, so they're not. But they aren't.
How do you know when they're not one of the ones that?
Right. One of the ones that you should. Yeah.
How do you know when you're just not it?
Yeah. How do you know when it's not it?
Yeah.
I mean, in any relationship, right? You are avoiding. You're avoiding things that you know you don't agree with, are incompatible. We all avoid red flags in the beginnings of relationships. Yeah. At this point in my life, I'm actually starting to pay attention to them and actually kind of address them for real and not fit someone into an idea. I'm trying to look at the red flags, maybe discuss them, and then see if they shift, not even needing them to change, see if my feelings about them shift. Like, I'm just trying to not lie to myself when I'm getting to know somebody.
Yeah.
Not trying to blind myself. Like, no, let's see it all and then see if I still want to keep getting closer. And when knowing someone's not the one, I mean, I told you my big one, who I thought was the one, I knew I needed to leave when literally I got the clarity. Okay, she is asking me to meet her at a certain way in a conversation that she's asked it for many, many times before. If I am to meet her where she's asking me, I'm giving up all of my self-respect and dignity. Like I am no longer standing for myself at all. Yeah. That she's demanding me to meet her outside of who the fuck I am and what matters to me. And that became a really clear thing was, if it's a choice between my dignity or meeting them where they're demanding, that's not the one, and I need to go.
Got you. So once you have to compromise yourself or your dignity, because you're willing to compromise
I'm
with
willing
a couple.
Compromise. I'll compromise all the time.
Couple behaviors, maybe.
Sure.
But when it's compromising myself,
like my dignity, my fucking who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
Just look if there is a very obvious you're giving more than you're receiving, or you're choosing not to receive. Look where that balance is. If it's pretty well in balance, that's somebody I think, for me at least now, is like, that's very acts of service. I love that love language. Like, that's what's important to me. And just being really aware of why I'm giving more or why I'm taking less.
I like that.
Right? Or taking more and giving less. And that, for me, just tells me pretty quickly if I'm going to be able to do it. And if they're giving you what you need, not just giving out of, like, it's conscious giving, if it's intentional giving, right?
Yeah.
Based on me and not their idea of what chivalry looks like or this, that, or other.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's just that genuine give and take. If it's already there in the, you know what I mean? That shouldn't, I don't feel like that's something you earn. I think give and take is like something that is either you're both like-minded and, you know, it's
you're
pretty simple what fair is. Yeah. And if not, that's something too. So I had this thing in relationships where I liked to have the upper hand, right? Whether that was like, I don't know, like I felt really good about myself on set. So that's where I found a lot of people. And I found myself giving and being the one in a financially superior place because it was an upper hand that was a necessity, right? Like the money kind of separated me from ever having to be intimate and deal with things in that relationship. And then I obviously started to resent them so much, like so much, physically repulsed, like everything, because this dynamic that I had created and maintained was killing me.
Right.
Yeah.
So part of that, like accounting for the give and take, that's part of like the dignity thing was she's asking me to meet her when I've done this so many times. And I'm asking, like in that moment, I was asking her to like come to a request of mine, and she was demanding it be hers. And it's like, it was part of that was like, yo, this is out of whack. I'm always meeting you where you're asking to be met. You're no longer ever meeting me where I want to be met.
Yeah, it's a problem.
We're done. Like we're out. We're out of here.
I can't justify why I'm taking or like why I'm
doing this. Yeah,
you're
not. There's no given. It's not reciprocal anymore. There's this German poet guy Rilke who I read a lot of and just love his words. And he has some quote. I'm gonna paraphrase it, but it's like, all love is great that lifts up all of your being at once and kind of raises all of you. But he says like love kind of goes wrong when it pulls at one side of your being and distorts you.
That's interesting.
And since reading that, I try and check in with it when I have like a crush on someone or start to have those feelings for someone. Like, is this lifting all of me up? Because I can feel it. I can start to feel it when it's pulling at like, it's
one spot.
It's pulling at part of me, but then therefore it's like distorting the other parts, and I can kind of feel that, and I love that wisdom in that.
Yeah. Did you answer that?
How do I know that this person is not the one? I honestly would say, because I'm like Devin, we'll take a hint from like chemistry. All right, you got H2O. All right, hydrogen can bond with any type of oxygen as long as it's friggin' oxygen. So I think there are a lot of people out there for you. You know it's not the one if they are like, you know, putting you in danger, I think for sure. If they're making you experience emotions that are damaging to you, like fear, I don't think that's something you should ever really have to feel, that, especially if it's the product of your interaction with a person. So I say just watch out for those huge red flags. Like, they're not the one if you're feeling those emotions.
Fear and love, like, I just feel like if you're acting out of anything, fear doesn't always look like it's the shame, guilt, like shame, all of those base
I'm
emotions.
Not enough.
That's all of that imposter syndrome, everything. That's what fear is. So if you're living in fear at any capacity,
remove yourself.
You know what I mean? Remove yourself and understand that like an emotional thing. So in sobriety, it's like, yeah, you physically didn't drink, which is the most important, but like that emotional relapse, right? Of just like, just evolving into this most horrible part of yourself. And that emotional abuse, I think that is more detrimental to the world than almost any, not, I don't mean that, but I just mean like it's more subversive and just complete. And yeah. So I think if it's exacerbating wounds that you were told as a kid, if you talk to yourself in your head at night, like feeling like stupid and alone, and you have those like voices going, as opposed to feeling like you're next to somebody that you can ground yourself with, I mean, your body's going to tell you. And just don't like understand if that desperation is leading you into somebody else's arms. It does not mean hate yourself or don't look at it. It means be aware of the whole time that you're choosing this fear over your own good, right? And I think that awareness helps to stop the cycle, and at least it lets you know what's in your control and not so much these society things that you just have to respond to.
Thanks for the question. That's a
good
question. Yeah, and also this idea of the one, man, it gets so perpetuated by movies and TV. Love your romantic stories that you watch in movies and TV. They are not real. They're fun stories. They're fun, happy story time. They are not real. Jim and Pam don't exist. It's not real. Okay. Dianella96 asked, favorite project you've done since the end of Ned? I'd love to know each of yours.
Favorite project?
Yeah, favorite project since Ned.
Proyecto. It's a toss-up between Aliens in America and 10 Things I Hate About You, because for different reasons. So I was number 5 on the regular cast. So it's basically like on the bottom of the regular cast. And so I was learning. That's where I learned to act, right? Like no gimmicky, no nothing. Like she was somebody who was like very still, very yeah, and I just had to I kind of just had to make my way. So that was exhilarating. Like I was just like very present. I was on. And then 10 Things I Hate,
post Neds.
Right?
Yeah. And
10 Things I Hate About You was just this like culmination of all the years up to that point, and like making it to number 1 on the call sheet was important to me, no matter how superficial that is. Like that was a goal that just made me like so happy. And that you just getting to achieve that, and then just feeling like this feminist voice that I got to use. Like all these characters are always a conduit to things that I'm feeling. And that was probably one of the most positive times in my life, is when I was shooting that. And I felt so very empowered.
I mean, mine would probably be Zeke and Luther. It was just like a fun show to work, you know, skateboarding, everything like that. I was always into extreme sports. So probably that one. I really enjoyed that. I got to be like a bad boy on like Glee, like Phil Lipoff. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I had the braid, so it was the first time I had that kind of look.
I want to rewatch that. I remember I saw you on that like first, you know, when whatever came out, but I want to rewatch. How was that? Like when you booked that, like was that like one of those moments? Because that's a primetime show.
Yeah,
it was top of its game.
Yeah. I thought it was dope. I mean, like I was only there a couple, you know, episodes, so it wasn't that crazy. But,
Still.
Yeah.
All right.
It was dope. Yeah, Glee was, it was at the top, so it felt good being on a project like that.
My favorite project since Ned's is a complicated one. By the time this airs, I feel like we'll have finished it. But it's a movie called Rust.
Yeah.
That you may have heard of. The story with that is I had worked with this writer-director twice before. I did 2 films with him. This one called Crown Vic was really cool. Got to work with Thomas Jane. That project was my favorite project after Ned's before Rust. Was I got to play this like crazy, tweaked out, arrested guy in this one long scene with Thomas Jane where he like strips me naked to humiliate me and interrogates me. And I'm like kind of a fucking tweaker. And it was so fun because it was the furthest I've ever played from myself. So it was hard ass work to figure out how to get there. In a lot of roles, I can just if the character is close enough to me, I can do my acting work on it, but let a lot of my own experience just fill in the blanks of the character. This, I couldn't let any of my life experience fill in this character. It was so far from who I am, so I had to really dig into it. But anyway, did that movie a couple years back. Joel's next movie was a Western called Rust. Alec Baldwin was attached. And I mean, a Western is like an actor's fucking dream. It's one of the classic genres of film. So I got cast as a supporting role in that, to be a fucking cowboy on this period piece Western. And I mean, it was coming after a really like dark time in my life and dark time in my acting life. Like, I felt so far removed from my career at that point. And then I was on this set in a Western with actors that I respected the fuck out of, learning how to ride a horse, like in period piece garb. I got to play, I was no longer one of the kids, I was one of the men on set, and I was playing this grungy ass like character role. And I was literally living my dream on that set. Like, it felt so good. I felt so on purpose again. I felt like my life was possible again. I felt like my dreams were possible again. Like, it was really a sacred time that was healing me. And then, as we know, like, we're like 3 weeks into shooting. I was 2 days away from being done. We had this huge accident where our DP got shot and killed. And like, man, it has been a hard year after that. Like, that has been so fucking hard to deal with and process. Kind of because of all that. Like, it's this loss of life. It was the moment it hit me. It was all the press about it after. Like, everyone has an idea of what that set was, but if you weren't on it, you don't fucking know. Yeah. It wasn't this narrative that went out. Like, every set has some chaos. Every set is cutting corners and cutting budgets. At least I can only speak from my experience, but on my experience, it was no different than any other set I'd ever been on. It didn't feel more unsafe. I had a gun every day. I felt safe with it. Like, I felt safe with the people. And we were just making a movie, man. It was not this crazy stressed set beyond the normal, beyond what a normal set is. And everyone has opinions about it because of all the stories that went out. And look, you're all entitled to your opinions, but you're not entitled to my experience. And like, this was a deeply personal experience for everyone who was on set to go through this trauma together. Like, this goes beyond anyone else's opinion who wasn't there. Like, we all had to survive this and like process the grief of this beautiful person who got killed and who was like really special to our set. She's a really talented artist and like a really beautiful person. And to lose her while making a movie, you can't understand what that is like for Alec included. You can't understand. Being on a set is so fucking sacred and so fucking special. It's so beautiful. There's this energy that's happening. There's this fucking awesomeness about we get to do this. And we all felt that with making a Western. I think all of us felt like, wow, man, like, we're making like one of these like genre films that's like we've all grown up watching. Like, we're doing our version of this Western. And like, I felt that energy on set. I felt it with Helena. I felt it with a lot of the people on set, this kind of like joy. Alec too, this joy of making this thing, and for it to end like that was motherfucking devastating. And I know it's super complicated for people that we are finishing it, but I'm glad we're finishing it, and we're finishing it with her husband, and I'm glad about that.
He's the new.
He wants it to be finished, as far as I know, and he's an executive producer on it now, and like, just he's involved. We would never touch it if he wasn't. I was sure we would never finish this movie. I was 100% sure this is never getting done. Like, there's no way we're gonna finish this movie ever. I knew it was over. Like, never thought. So I was actually really shocked to find out we were finishing it. And ultimately, just on a personal level for each of us, I don't think critics, you can't separate the loss of life. So I think on social media, say whatever the fuck you're going to say. I think critics, the movie's never going to be good enough to lose a person. Like, no movie is.
Yeah.
So I don't think that will, but for us personally, finishing this thing that like harmed and hurt so many of us and just like created this rift in our lives, it feels like some kind of completion that feels right. Man. And so I hope it comes out well. And it's my favorite project since Ned's, even though this shit happened at least the time before she got killed, because I was living my fucking dream in a really cool way.
I'm glad for you. And
thanks. Thanks.
Excited to see what comes out of that. That's really lovely, that the blessing of her husband and that he's a part of it.
Yeah.
So the tip for this episode would just be to find out why and if you're taking crap from somebody else for some reason that doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Or that you can get through. Like, are you with them because you're reciprocal and like it's a nice this, or are you with them for fear of being alone or for fear of anything else?
For me, I would say a tip is to choose people to be around that uplift you. If someone is bringing down your energy, I don't think you need that person around. Okay.
Sorry, that's another really good thing. Just take inventory after you hang out with your friends of how you feel, because I didn't do that for the longest time, and even the kindest, most well-intentioned people can be energy vampires.
I feel
right?
super drained?
Yeah, exactly.
Or
So
do
paying
I feel
attention to
inspired?
exactly. It's a big
Do
one.
I feel
Simple.
comforted? Yeah, all that. Mine is you are your one. You are the one you will be with for your entire life. So get to know yourself. Fall in love with yourself. You are your one, and then there's many partners you can let into that space.
Yes.
Choose wisely.
Love that. Oh,
Love you.
your results may vary.
Your results may vary.
Yes.
Thanks for listening, Ned Heads. Thanks for submitting your questions. Look out for the next Insta story where we ask for them. And we'll see you next week.
All right. Cheers. Peace.
Cheat.
All right, Ned Heads. Thanks for watching this episode of the Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide Pod. If you want more content, please subscribe to our Patreon for more bonus material. Podcast.
This episode is part 2 of episode 3. Teachers.
Hey.
What happens in this episode? I'm failing in Sweeney's class.
I'm failing in Miss
failing
N-Styles.
in Miss
You're
N-Styles
trying to
class
have a-
because homeboy is smitten.
I'm smitten.
You're
She's
smitten
teaching me Spanish.
with the beauty of the foreign language teacher.
For sure.
And Moses' favorite math teacher is replaced by a student teacher, Mr. Dren, who's having a trouble dealing with the unruly class who doesn't respect him.
Yes.
But you respect him
But
because your teacher's
and
pet.
I make a plan to
Get him respect.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, right off the top, let me look up. I think his name Charles.
Oh yeah.
Right?
His name was Charles.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this actor who played Mr. Dren, I feel really bad. This was years after Ned's, and I was a little high, and I was out with some friends at some event, and there was a lot of people, and I was a little distracted, and I passed him, Charles, Mr. Dren, who I had worked with on Ned's, but it had been years since Ned's. Again, I was a little high. And I couldn't place where I knew him from. I just thought I knew him from a different show. And he's like, I was on Ned's with you. And my heart shattered. I was like, I'm an asshole.
Okay, but
I feel so bad.
you truly didn't have that many
And Lost
scenes
was
with
one of our
him.
favorite
Right.
shows.
No, I barely worked.
in your
I
defense.
didn't.
In
He
your
was
defense.
your teacher. I
Exactly.
didn't work with him a lot, and that's what I mean. I saw him. I was like, I know this man, and then
Yep.
my head just filled in a different TV
That
show.
happens. That does happen.
completely
That
happens.
I
does
know,
happen.
but I did feel awful. I was like, fuck. And it was kind of in passing. So as he said, it was Ned's, we were kind of already gone, and I still feel the shame of that. So Charles, I'm sorry, man.
But I'm gonna
you're
be
great.
really honest with you. Yeah.
Wait, so you said, hey, I know you from Lost.
You guys, people do that to me
It does happen.
all the time.
Oh,
Yeah. Which ones do you get?
You're Christy Carlson Romano, right?
Right?
Yes.
And that,
Halloween
the
Town.
Halloween
Yes.
Town.
Oh, yeah,
I got
yeah, yeah,
Twilight back in the day when that
Oh,
was
yeah,
really
Kristen
around.
Stewart. Yeah.
Anybody but me.
It happens.
And a lot of Disney Channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I get Chris Tucker randomly.
No,
I look nothing like
you
that
look
guy.
way beefier than CT.
Beefier, right?
Yeah.
No, he's kind of yoked these days.
No.
Yeah. He stopped being skinny. He got.
Oh, he
Yeah.
got the fear of God
Yeah.
put in him.
Charles Chun, awesome. I just wanted to make sure I had his name. I want to respect
So,
you now, sir, because I
shout
was
out
a
to
little
Charles.
idiot.
Shout out Charles.
Also, Charles was hilarious in this episode and
great.
nailed it.
Yep.
Nailed the
Yep.
scene where he has
The
to yell
tone.
at you. Nailed it. You guys being homies after.
Yeah, that
Like,
switch was great.
Yeah,
Really
great,
nice.
Great actor. Also, another one of these great adult actors treating us so well on set. So honestly, when that happened when I was a teenager, I was like, I feel like a fucking asshole.
Dang.
Yeah.
Sorry, Charles. Shout out. Love you.
It
Yep.
happens. It happens.
Yeah. So do you
I'm
get
always
recognized as anyone? Just Chris Tucker by
Chris Tucker thing.
by foolish people.
Yeah, foolish people. It depends, man. I get Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant,
Oh wow.
all the
What?
general
Oh, wow.
brothers. Just like, hey, I know a person that looks like it.
Oh,
Come on,
God.
get out of here, man.
But
yeah.
I definitely at times would get Mitchell Musa.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Yeah, they'd be like, "I love you on Hannah Montana," and I'm like, "Perfect."
Yep.
And Mitchell and I have known each other since pre-Ned's, pre-Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
We knew each other at Oakwood when we were 12. So that always just made me laugh. I think he got me too. Yeah.
He got me too.
Yeah,
He got
But yes, man.
Yeah, that's fun. I don't know who I'm always surprised now. Like if people I feel so much older and like
how could you know me?
Recognize me, mask, sunglasses.
That's what I wanted to ask. Yeah. A couple times with a mask on, someone's like, "Are you Ned?" And I'm like, "How?
Yeah.
I have a mask. How are you seeing?"
People don't mistake you for Cookie, do they?
Sometimes, but with the beard, I'm like, it should be hard. It depends. Like if I'm at some event where people are
different.
Yeah, of course.
No, where they're different.
Yeah, but I can usually go under the radar.
Yeah, because you just like.
Then I surprise them later.
Yeah.
You didn't even know you were. No,
I
can Cookie. But yeah,
I feel like I was waiting so long for my face to mature. Like I feel like I had a baby. I still do in some ways, but like I feel like I'm finally at an age where I'm like, wow, I think I'm actually an adult, because like people aren't recognizing me as Ned often. Like there's people I'm around for a long time and it takes a while. Then they hear it from someone and they go, "What? And I'm like, oh, I finally am not a little baby face. Yeah. I'm finally not a little cherub."
Yeah.
Feels good.
I will never get tired of hearing that I was people's first crush.
That is a nice thing.
So flattering.
I never get that.
Very often.
And you get it from guys and girls.
Very, very often. Yes.
Nice.
I get it from guys and girls
almost
too.
Almost everyone who comments to me has that sweet thing.
Everyone who's ever seen me just
says like
love.
they
love me.
Yeah.
And are obsessed with me and are attracted to me.
No,
I awaken people's sexuality.
Enough. No, but I'm like, that is like a flattering thing that will flatter me for the rest of time. Like that is like that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To be on that list for people or whatever.
Yeah, no, that actually is. Like it's sweet. Even on TikTok it happens now. Like, "Oh my God, you were my first crush." It's like, oh, little old me.
Right?
Okay. Tell me more.
And then I rewatched these episodes and I was like, she was cute. Okay.
Hey.
You were cute. I was crushing on you.
Right? I had all those sweet little outfits going on, keeping everything covered. You know?
Yeah, did
you guys know that I had that issue?
What is it?
You had too much boob for middle school.
Too much boob for middle school.
Yeah, because Daniel and I were the age we were on the show every season. Like when we were, when Ned and Mose and Cookie were in 6th grade, Daniel and I were in 6th grade.
Yeah.
You were I think you were 2 grades older than us, even though only a year and 4 months.
Yes.
You were in 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So you were more mature than your character. I didn't remember they had to like hide your boobs. I guess I do remember that.
Okay, so I was like, wow, Mose really loved like one of our first fittings with Alicia. Mose really loves the layering and the hoodie. And she's like, I was like, what? And she was like, you know, you're a little more developed. And man, I swear I have been fondled by, fondled by every,
the costume.
Yes,
people,
costumer, because they constantly had to put the top stick like right, you know what I'm saying? Like cover.
Mose couldn't, and that's the thing we were talking about on other episodes, is like, Ned's did have to be age appropriate.
Right.
It did have to be pure and innocent.
Too much sweet yams.
You couldn't have those sweet yams showing.
You know?
Yeah. You can have them, they just can't be showing that.
It made me very, like, conscious of them in a negative way.
Yeah.
And so...
You didn't like the yams. You wanted fewer yams?
Yams booty, right?
Yams was something...
Let's talk about, what's our euphemism for boobies here?
The yams would be the...
Yams?
What?
I thought yams is boobies.
I think sweet yams is all the way around.
Oh yeah, yams is. I thought yams was cheeks.
Yams is really the.
Yeah,
but it can be whatever you want it to be.
What do we call these?
The cans.
Cans.
Give me the cans.
Yeah, quick cans with a Z.
With a Z, turn up.
Where were we?
So it made you aware of your cherries, your peaches,
in a negative way, which is so funny because the next role that I played was this very like sex pot teenager on Aliens in America.
That's
where my stuff was like, you know what I mean? Like out and about.
So they're trying to accentuate it in that project.
Yes.
So you went from tucking it away, pure innocent, little baby child, right to...
And I was like uncomfortable.
Hollywood,
I was like, oh, like they're looking, and now that I look back, I wish I had just like enjoyed it more.
Yeah. But of course it's not, it's hard. Of course, that's a real unique situation as a young person getting aware of your body, and then all of a sudden it's on camera and adults are tucking it or accentuating it.
Exactly.
No, that's weird.
Tucking it? Yeah, that's tough. Yeah.
That's weird.
It was tough.
No, I don't know.
I remember those days.
Yeah, I remember having to take. Did you ever have any erection and stand up in like class or anything? Did that ever happen? When a teacher's like, "Yo, you got to get up and present," and you're like, "Oh,
Nope.
I don't want to get up."
No,
That happened to me often.
Scott didn't give me a boner, man.
Oh, Scott. Oh, you're talking about in school on set? No, yeah. Actual school. Never. You never just when you're like a kid, like
when you're getting erections that you can't control.
And it's like, wait, what is happening? First of all,
yeah, that happens.
I don't want
dudes.
people to know this.
Yeah,
wait.
For a while, you're
Did
getting.
that happen to either of you?
Not in,
on set?
Ned's.
No, I don't remember.
It
I don't remember on
has
set
happened
or
to
school.
me on set. Yeah.
Did it happen in Ned's?
In Nance, yeah, for sure. That was the first time I was getting erections, you know. And then it's the first time I'm just around like females often.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
for sure,
Right.
for sure.
Right. Oh my God, I can't.
I mean, Logan Browning played my girlfriend on set.
Right? Okay.
So it was hard, you know, keeping myself composed.
Dang.
Yeah, you were smitten, dude.
I
smitten.
love me some
Smitten.
Logan Browning.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but she was just such a great person.
She really
Yeah,
was.
she
She's
is.
a
She
chill
was.
person.
Yeah.
Chill
Yeah.
person.
And also just like big,
The
beautiful
cutest,
green eyes.
the
like,
cutest thing you've ever.
You just get
so
lost, dude.
yeah.
Dude, her, and she always gave me another just great friend who's like a dog. Like I have to dap her up. She just such a G. Tristan Mays.
Yes, dude. Tristan is the shit.
Yeah, she's gorgeous, but she's like the bro,
Yo,
man.
I hadn't seen her since Ned's, and then I'm doing this movie in 2016, I think, called Where's the Money with King Batch and like Logan Paul and shit. And Batch is friends with Tristan. So she came to visit him, and it was like, yo.
Lit.
It was so good to see her. She is the homie.
Yeah, and she was in love with you on the show, right? Or
Her character.
was.
Yeah.
She worked with me on Zeke and Luther once,
No
too.
way.
Yeah, I think she played Adam's like love interest or something.
Yeah, she
like
played
that.
like some goth girl that was like obsessed with me and Scary on Ned's like one episode. But it was a trip to see each other as adults and be like, yo.
What was the line she had? Like she called you mophead? Something like mophead or something. We're not at that episode.
We'll get to that. I think that's like third season when she was on. Second or third. I don't think it's first. So you had a crush on Logan. That's sweet.
Oh yeah, for sure. She was awesome. Teachers. Oh yeah, I had a crush on Miss InStyle. So Cookie, if you haven't seen the episode.
I mean, basically the episode was you getting an erection.
Yeah, from Miss InStyle, you know, and I'm just drooling in this bucket. Now I remember I actually had a teacher. I think this wasn't until second season, but it was similar. So Cookie was just infatuated with this woman, and he has a drool bucket. He's just, and that's why he's getting an F every test he takes, because he just cannot focus with her, and so he tries all these methods to not. What was the tip you gave Cookie to avoid that?
Well, we did different things. Was just focus on the work. Like basically, you failed at everything until the end of the episode, and then it was just like you got to transfer.
You got to
out.
transfer.
Like if you're distracted, just transfer out.
Yeah.
You helped Mr. Dren get the responsibility and the respect of the class back. I like Ned's storyline in this. It was pretty funny. Is like he's trying all these things to get on Sweeney's good side to not fail.
Oh yeah.
Kissing his ass, you know, like dressing like him, all these things. And the end of the episode, it's like, Ned, have you ever just tried doing the work?
Oh yeah, that was
and
a
I'm
good
like,
one.
Do the work.
Yep.
Do the work. And it's just such a good, pure, real life tip. Is like, yeah, you can try all the tricks, but you could also just do it.
Do it, yeah.
Do the work. You won't fail. You might not get an A, but you won't fail. This episode had another good line that I loved, and I think we would say it as an inside joke after this. It was a Moe's line. I feel dirty just standing next to you. Because I said, I'm going to do something that's
teacher's pet.
I'm going to do something that no one likes. I'm going to become the teacher's pet. And it's like, oh, no one likes the teacher's pet. I feel dirty just standing next to you.
I look like I'm about to break on the last part of that, so I feel like that was something
it.
funny that we could not like.
Yeah, well, because this is where your comedy started to come out more. Like you're so good at just being that like real grounded kind of straight man character. But then when you need to, like you hit that line, you were also like covered in shit at the point, but you just hit that. I feel dirty just standing next to you. Like you hit it.
Bruh.
Yeah, it's funny.
I loved any time that obviously anything extracurricular was added to my face, spitball, like that pickle, like anytime that you got to like, you know, be the mess.
Yeah,
be the mess.
The kook.
Yep.
Yeah. So
it's really,
funny,
really
man.
fun.
But that's literally, there's another straightforward episode. Man.
I think they're all straightforward.
Yeah, they're 11 minutes of action-packed middle school comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
Back to your erections, Daniel.
My erections, yes.
Straight up.
Welcome back to Ned's
Straight
Declassified Erection Survival Guide.
Erection survival guide.
Daniel Curtis
Right on.
Lee.
They're gonna happen, all right? And you're not always gonna survive that erection. Okay?
Wow.
Have you guys ever just... Well, at school, you didn't really do the school thing, but did you... Yeah, no.
I mean, I did
Were you
middle
ever
school.
in love with, like, a teacher? Like, by any chance?
Nah, I never had a
I had
Only
this
a cousin.
awesome teacher. Oh, well, damn.
Hold on. Hello, Nebraska.
No, but like, you know what I mean? Were you guys never just like
Attracted to my cousin?
No, no, we can't do that on this podcast.
wow?
We can't even bring it up.
Not attract. Like when I was like
You had a little
9
flirtation?
years old, I was
Okay,
like,
okay. There was a little flirtsy.
"You're cute," and like, "I'm your cousin." What does that mean?
It's like you're the first boy I've ever met in my life.
like
it sounds
and you're cute. Mm.
That's funny. That's funny. Kind of funny. Maybe
It's
not
kind
so
of funny. Maybe it's not so funny. Absolutely not meant with anything other than the innocent
Funniness.
idea that was. And
No, there's a whole
probably
thing. No, there's a
younger
whole
than
thing
that.
with cousins. I watched a stand-up special from this girl that my sister went to college with. I think her name's Delaney something. She did this whole stand-up bit about, I think that her parents are cousins or someone in her family is like a cousin couple adults. On top of the stand-up bit, she did this like YouTube kind of like funny, weird exploration of like cousins who have gotten together. And maybe they're like more removed than like first cousins, right? They're like more down the line. But apparently there are some cousins out there who are just together, man.
I mean, a lot of royal families kind of did that.
Yeah.
Right? Is that the
yeah, but
that-
this is way outside the monarchy.
You say ain't
This is
royals here.
This is just freedom, baby.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
This is just freedom, Daniel. You look disturbed. and
I feel
like
disturbed. I mean, it's very taboo in my mind.
It is.
It is.
That,
Just
that
it
was
is?
the whole
Okay, that's the
exploration-
consensus?
That was
Good.
the whole exploration on.
So back to
video.
my erection, my
Your-
okay to have
Your
erection.
cousin-inspired erection.
No. This was a teacher. Miss Aga. She was my physics teacher. Oh. First of all, I just loved that I had made it into physics. I think was it 6th grade, 7th grade, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't know. So I was feeling like I'm good, and then I'm like, this is my reward. I got this beautiful Miss Aga or whatever. And I just remember
She was late with me.
Oh, I
This
wish.
pop quiz.
I wish. No, she's married and has children now. She's a really great woman. I really respect her. But yeah, some of
You
those,
were a
some of
young
those teachers.
hormonal.
Yeah, and I was just like, every time I went to her class, I'm like, let me rush to sit down because the erections calling my name before I even get to class. And whenever we had to present a project, sometimes I'm like, hey, I will not do that. I'm not gonna stand up. No, can't stand up. No.
Dude, this time of life is so... I mean, I think that's why Ned's means so much to so much people, is it was like this innocent entertainment that spoke to people through this awkward time. And obviously, we didn't cover erections in Ned's, but like, this is the shit. This is a funny, weird, slightly innocent, but like, this is the time where you start crossing the threshold with your hormones.
Yeah.
And yeah, as young boys, like, once that testosterone starts popping, like, you can't control shit.
You know, and you guys were like touchy people. Like the whole
touchy.
show kind of was like a touchy thing.
Yeah.
And we're doing like we hugged everybody kind of.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Neds,
Yeah, we were
everybody.
family.
And yeah, certain times I'm
Daniel,
just like I
I
don't.
did not get a 2-armed hug from you until recently.
Hold on.
Yeah, I would
hold on,
give
but,
you the
but
side one,
now
yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
He was trying to hug
hide his
without
erection.
you
Yeah.
touching his erection.
Always.
Daniel
always,
was a
yeah.
side hugger and a
Dang,
lean hugger.
I was taking it all personal.
Yeah, Daniel
Oh,
was
yeah.
not about the touchy intimacy. Now I know why. You were fucking erect.
You were just turned on by everything.
anything moving. Like, everything's a yam. Oh no.
Knox, you better stop shaking that little bird.
Stop shaking that thing, man. Oh my god.
bro.
It's getting me excited.
Oh my god.
Puberty,
And then-
growing up in front of TV. Yeah.
So you were just getting erections all the time, and you still waited till 18 to have sex. God bless.
Yeah, God bless, man. I was a repressed young youth.
Wow.
You know?
No, dude. I think that's just like
Yeah, religion will do
irresponsible.
that.
It's like
Yeah, yeah.
waiting till your parts are like.
Fully developed, because then you're just gonna embarrass yourself. Oh my god.
You know
Good
what I mean?
times.
You gotta have I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I'm glad I wasn't getting erections on set.
Erections only happen when you wanted them to. Is that like your?
I guess I don't remember a ton, but I would have
Erect on
remembered the
command.
shame. No.
I know.
I just don't remember them like popping up. I think I was focused, you know.
You're focused?
Did you
That's
ever
good.
hit what about any of your professors? For the
Did I ever
linguist-
hit any of my
No,
professors?
hit
Oh.
any of your professors for
In
your
college?
linguistics degree?
Yeah, what about them? Oh, did I like them?
Yeah, did you hit on them?
Oh, hit on them. I thought you like, did I smash them? Did I hit them? Linguistics professors aren't the best looking
Right.
people. No. Well, you know what? I this young lady, one of my teachers, she was like it was for Mandarin. I just did it as like I didn't need it, but yeah. One of my Mandarin teachers was really cool. I think she was just exotic, and I don't know, that excites me a little bit. I like I like foreign languages and finding ways to communicate. And it's almost like, you know, that sexual tension and energy is a communication in itself. You know?
Oh, it's amazing.
So I enjoy that.
Let
your body do the talking. You know what I mean? Yeah. But,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I never had attractions to teachers, but I was too young.
Yeah.
There weren't teachers to be attracted to.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Do you guys have memorable teachers? Like, I definitely feel like, especially in public school, I mean, we already talked about Scott Plimpton, who was our legendary tutor on set, who was such a great educator. There are teachers in my life.
Yes.
Who just left a mark. Like they were the pure essence of what a good teacher to children is. They actually are making sure to get you engaged. They're not just like speaking at you. They're really trying to get through to you. I feel like I had them throughout any public school era. I feel like often they were my like social studies teachers. I don't know why. It was like the teachers who were teaching about like history and people. Who often were the ones who like got through in a really cool way.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot. Oh yeah, teachers. I'm gonna put you on the spot, Devin. So these teachers who meant so much to you, do you remember any of their names?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Miss Anderson. She
was
nice. A memorable one.
He just made that up.
I did not.
Okay, I'm sorry. What grade was this?
That was like 7th grade.
Mr. Anderson.
That was like 7th grade social studies. She was amazing.
7th grade social studies.
You mean Mr. Anderson?
At River Trail Middle School.
Nice.
River Trail.
He made up the school too. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh god.
Nope. River Trail Middle School out there in Georgia.
Nice.
We had cows outside our window.
Oh, nice.
And Miss Anderson brought it. She brought it to us. She brought the lessons to our souls, man.
Right on.
Yeah,
every school I went to starts with Saint.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, you did all the Catholic school
all
things.
that Catholic stuff.
All that good Catholic stuff.
Yeah, I got it good.
What are the best things about Catholic school?
Was it the guilt or the shame?
Just the level of like work. Like when I came out here because I left in the middle of 7th grade, and what we were doing in Nebraska at 7th grade, and then what they were doing here at 7th grade was
you were further along?
So drastically different. Yeah. Just like the curriculum and the teachers were just quality, dude.
Yeah.
And not only with what they could teach, just like with their essence.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I'm talking about. This thing.
Yeah. And
it
so
matters.
I got a lot like that. But Mrs. Magnuson, nice. You had it out for me in 3rd grade.
Oh, Miss Magnuson.
And you hurt my feelings so much. You were the only teacher that made me feel unsafe in a classroom. You were mean. That's all. Hope you no longer teach. And God rest you if that has happened. But
I was gonna say some of our teachers might not be allowed.
No. That's okay. That doesn't give you a pass. Posthumous
accountability.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I just mean no. This woman terrorized me for saying but. Like that was the kind of school that I went to. Like but was a horrible. And then she literally reamed me out in the hallway. Me and my friend Sean Murphy, we were just always laughing, being stupid. And we were coloring in the scenery for the play. And like, I did the grass instead of this way, I did it this way.
I said vertical. Do it vertical.
She got so mad.
Well, that is really dumb.
But still.
Grass grows like this stuff.
I mean, come on now.
We gotta draw the line somewhere.
I mean, she terrorized me.
Dang.
I was just this student. Yeah.
No, that is an awful thing that does. That does happen to kids. If teachers wield power, and especially that young, if a teacher shames you and makes you feel dumb.
The first outside person in my life who told me to flat out shut up, and I was like, Because that's just not something that I find that
She
to be
said,
the most offensive
hold
thing.
on, shut up. Grass grows vertically, you little idiot.
And when she talked to me in the hallway, it would be this close.
Oh no!
Like,
Oh no!
she
That's
really-
abusive.
I hate when people are trying to sell fear. It's like,
Yeah.
don't sell fear to me. Explain to me why your method is better than mine.
Yes.
And explain to me
Why are you upset? And how is this?
Yeah.
Explain to me
how is this
why
affected
I'm
the
out
whole-
of bounds.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, what am
Yeah.
I doing?
And be
Explain
cordial
it.
about it.
Yeah.
Don't come up on me all over my face. No, you know what I'm saying? Don't do that.
No, that's the thing. Not everyone can wield power, man.
No,
it
not
corrupts
well.
people. Not everyone
Yeah.
knows how to wield that responsibility. Because that's the thing. You have to strike a balance as a teacher of maintaining respect, reprimanding people when you need to, but also these are children. You need to educate them. You need to help them going forward, and just like yelling in your face.
And it sucks
Yikes.
because I can understand where a teacher could get resentful and short, and that consistent, positive, good attitude, and you're holding space for 30 people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus another
Children.
30 who come into your class, like switching classes,
Yeah.
plus the rest of your,
Life.
student bot, like.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. All right, Mrs. Magnuson, I'm sorry, but you really weren't in an environment like that. There was a bomb where we lived.
Damn. Just had it
Maybe
out
she
for
was
you.
going some stuff in her personal life.
You
I
never
gotta
know.
give
You
it,
never
and
know,
I
yeah.
know, but I will never forget the impact that she made on my life because it was
No.
the first really negative school experience that I had.
Damn.
And for real, that shit can stick. Like, you hear it from adults like, oh, a teacher told me I was dumb or like wasn't going to go anywhere. And it took me a long time to realize that wasn't like absolute truth.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Like you internalize
Mhm.
internalize that shit. So if a
Mhm.
teacher makes you straight up feel dumb or bad, like
Yeah.
you're going to
Like
take
she
that.
hurt me,
Dang. Miss Kogan, that was my teacher. I remember she was like a history teacher, and I really loved history at the time. I'm not a big history buff now because there's so much, fluff out there, and everybody's trying to drive their own narrative, yada yada. But she was my history teacher at the time, and this was while I was on NEDS. I was in 6th grade, and I was from Mississippi, and we had this thing where you address your like elders as sir and ma'am. And for whatever reason, she thought that me calling her ma'am was insinuating that she was like old or something like that. And she was like, don't call me that. Don't call me that. And you're always just causing trouble. And da-da-da. She just really
Dang.
blew up on me one day.
Projected a lot at me.
And I'm just like, yo, that
Ma'am
was
is
not,
a sign of respect.
yeah, I was just trying to respect you. And she's like, well, don't talk back. I'm telling you. And I'm like, I'm just trying to explain to you what my actions were. And she just yelling. And I was like, you know what? F you. And I flicked her off. And I was like a cult hero to,
No,
Hell yeah.
all the kids in my school. Yeah.
You were a bad boy cookie, dude.
Is
Yeah,
that when you
exactly.
got detention?
You know what? That was an instance where I got detention. I did get.
Did you
detention.
put on a
Actually, they
did you
sent
put
me
on a
back.
velour
Daniel,
jumpsuit?
like,
Oh no, I should have.
because
I can't
he's chill around
imagine-
Kyle children. Do you know what I mean?
I know. I
he
can't
handles all that
imagine-
crap.
I never. No, I
She was being unfair.
no, she was being unfair, man. And I was like, you're
just
just
talking so down
mischaracterizing
to
me.
you.
Yeah.
I did not appreciate that. I did not appreciate that at all.
Yeah.
Wow.
Especially when I was showing her a sign of respect. Like if it was someone who was a teacher who just had it out for me, I would have felt the way.
Dude,
but I was like,
ma'am is literally like a sign of politeness. Like it's a term of it's like a term of reverence. It's
Yeah,
something
it's
you
an
call
honorific.
elder.
Yeah.
And then still just like doubling down on the like
You're
not
wrong,
even
listen to
pulling
me.
it back and being
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry or whatever.
Yeah.
Just doubling down and you know what I mean?
she could have just explained it or at least heard me out with
Yeah.
what I was saying. and I'm
Snipping
like,
at
yeah.
somebody, but then continuing the snip is different.
Yeah, no, I didn't like that. But yeah, I was notorious for that. I was the kid that flipped off
Damn.
Miss Kogan.
So you got some middle school street cred at that
Oh yeah,
point.
yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Man.
You were on TV. You were flicking off teachers.
Right.
yeah.
I didn't know this side of you, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know, in and out. Been in,
and
in
you
out
didn't,
today.
and you still didn't make the hottie list.
still didn't make the hottie list. No, was not cool enough for the hottie list. No.
Wow.
Damn.
I can't believe that was a real thing.
Like an actual hottie list.
Yeah.
I can't
People
either.
did it,
That
yeah.
seems so like
Movie.
No,
Seems
but
so
I think
movie time.
people perpetuating what they'd seen on movies. I'm like, the only reason they have one,
Right.
burn
The
books,
burn
and
book
that
from,
whole
right,
thing.
from Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good movie plot, but I never saw a burn book.
No.
But I guess people then create it. They're like,
Yeah. No, I've seen people write stuff on stalls,
sure.
but it's usually that
Just some-
quote like, "Here I sit, brokenhearted, tried to shit, but only farted." And I think I've seen that on so many bathroom walls.
I have never been graced with that.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen
You've
that.
never heard that?
Never.
Oh, it's great. All through the South, at least.
No.
Yeah, okay.
No,
Yeah.
I forget what it used to be. I don't really hold.
Tried to shit,
the
but it was
bathroom
only a
stalls in
fart.
my-
Yeah. Here I sit, brokenhearted.
Here I
Tried to
sit,
shit, but only farted.
Here I sit, brokenhearted.
Listen,
Tried to
guys,
shit.
I hate to get on
Yeah.
this topic again. But
Uh-oh.
have you ever shit your pants as an adult?
Dude!
So you guys, we have to
Hey.
steer it away from it.
I'm saying, dude, like, I can't believe you'd ask something like that.
Yeah, but you're also saying, dude,
saying,
like, you've been there.
Hey, no, because when you asked about have I ever had mishaps in the bathroom, I've had some late arrivals to the bathroom.
Hold on,
Your plane's delayed.
What's a delay?
I mean, what, you just show up late and you got to deal with the consequences. And it seems like that, it just wants to jump right out, right when you get to the door. You grab the keys. If I can just
It's
get in
almost
here.
unbearable when you're trying to undo the door. You're like,
Yeah.
I am surrounding space and time right now.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
Oh my God.
like,
Yeah, time slows down.
I can feel the universe expanding, but unfortunately not my gut. Like,
Oh my God.
wow.
You try to
All
time
right,
it out.
I'm gonna tell you. All right, this is another just like traumatic thing that's like a bodily function that happened in a class with my math teacher.
Okay.
I got my period for the first time.
Oh.
Wait.
Mom only gave me these really thin pads, and it turns out I do have a heavy foot.
Oh, it turns out.
And not that you'd think the first one would be like a little like
Yeah, like a little
Like a
starter.
trickle does,
Yeah,
like-
a little shallow end.
strawberry
Dropped into the
compote.
deep.
It's just
Strawberry maroon.
so I literally am armed with this piece of paper for my first period.
Wow.
And I get up before we even are out for lunch, and I'm just feeling just like not okay down there.
Dang.
And I go in the bathroom, and I'm like, there is a fucking
Ooh.
ring of blood.
Dang.
Had to have my mom bring me some other
Yeah.
pants. Was mortified at the time, but truly, I have become such an advocate for periods. Like they're one of the most cleansing,
Yeah.
wonderful things in the world.
Natural.
And
Good for
free
you.
bleeding is like my favorite thing to do now.
What
So
does that
unfortunately,
mean?
I couldn't appreciate it.
What is
then.
free bleeding?
So free
mean?
bleeding means that you're either wearing some thinks or something
That
where you can just
nothing's inside. You're just letting
and then
it out.
some people literally like take towels to work and stuff and like put stuff in their thing and free bleed. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I don't do that.
Wow.
But
Isn't a towel the same as a pad though at that point? Like,
yes.
a pad is technically
Yeah, no,
free
but
bleeding,
I've
right?
had
But
it
you're
up.
saying
I've had
not-
it up.
not-
Diaper
not
me up
tampons.
all day
Not
long.
tampons.
I do not care. Like only
not
when I
inside.
have to.
Well, there's
do
like
I
a
use
bunch
that.
of toxicity coming out.
Yeah,
of the
and there's
tampon.
all
you
these
should
new.
get it out, right?
There are all
Yeah.
these new methods, but like the free bleeding literally feels like you're like cleansing this whole area.
Wow.
I can't explain it.
Wow.
You know, like it feels lighter.
Liberate
When it's
yourselves,
done.
ladies. It's
yeah,
2022.
yeah, it's
Uh,
natural.
I mean, that was definitely a thing that, like, especially at middle school, like,
Yeah.
periods were such a shamed, like,
Yeah.
ooh,
Yeah.
don't, ooh, like,
like-
boys are like, ooh, a tampon,
Yeah.
ooh. And girls have to feel like all fucking weird about it when,
Yeah.
again, this is something that's gonna happen every fucking month,
Month,
every
yeah.
couple weeks. It's so
And
natural. Don't shame natural fucking things.
I remember being so embarrassed. Like if you had to go to the bathroom, like you either had to make a habit of going to the bathroom with your purse, even when you didn't have your period, or people would know when you took your purse to the bathroom that you were going to do that. Or they made even tampons that are like this big, so you're just like you like sneak it out, like some sort of like.
thing that's
And I
hidden
get it. We're not just
shamed.
like, yeah, like it's not a tampon party, but it's also like not this ignorant. When I hear
Yeah.
people who are so still grossed out by, I'm just like,
Your
I
mama
literally
made you.
never want to
Like,
look in your direction ever. You are so ignorant and just,
Yeah.
you will never vibe with me on this planet ever
Hmm.
if you can't appreciate a period. And I just get so annoyed.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Like,
just,
it's such
again,
a little-
it's such a natural
Ew.
human thing.
But
like,
it's us trying to mask the human, like we said in the other podcast.
Exactly.
Like trying to mask what is
What is natural?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not for that. It's something we do, or society has done, and conditioning has done. That as you age, like you have to come into look at what's natural about you, and like if you are holding a bunch of shame and guilt around that, like around a period,
Yeah.
So every month you're setting up a cycle of shame, like around something that you cannot stop and is actually good for you. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, no, you got to kick that habit
Yes.
for sure. But it sucks that society
It makes me sad when I hear girls be like, "Oh, my period." Like everybody laments it as this cross that we wear, and I'm just like, I love it. It's exhilarating if you really tune into like, I know this is a lot, but like the feeling and process that's going on within you. It's genius. It's amazing.
Sure.
And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think the fact that we're more worried about how our clothes are gonna look if we have to wear a different type of like, you know what I mean?
Sure. This happened to a girl in my middle school. She happened to be wearing all white at the time. Yep, got her first period, and I remember she like covered herself in some type of way. The teacher helped her like out quietly, but then we were all kind of confused at what happened. And then one of the kids like looked over, and there was like blood like in the seat, and so she got so much shit for like doing some, like she had to call her mom to get clothes, right? Like all this shit. Got all sorts of shame for this thing that's like, oh no.
Dang. That's weird. How do we get society to move past this erroneous kind of judgment?
I would like to think that more and more people are just kind of waking up to kind of natural things.
Oh, letting
like,
people know about the free bleeding.
I think all of that is expanding as
I mean, here's
we
the
as
thing.
people
Like I
move
said
on.
about the Me Too movement a little bit back, and I literally don't mean anything divisive like against that. It's just my opinion. But women also have to take back periods for themselves. Do you get what I mean? By like, you're exhibiting a shame that society has put on you, and yet those periods are going to bring you the very thing that's going to fulfill your life in like your 20s, right? The thing that you want so much is like, you know, and it's, I don't know. Yeah, it just hurts me that this literally sacred time, like it's some wild shit that goes
ties
on.
us to the lunar cycles,
Right,
like all of this, and we want to detach ourselves and put ourselves on some grid, some man-made grid and calendar, like
Yeah. No, I agree. So I think like just more as the female accepts this, like not this narrative of perfection anymore, which is like the point I think we're like moving towards, at least here. The more we all just embrace the feminine, Mother Earth, I think the better that understanding will just come. I don't think it's about educating people about periods necessarily. It's about educating people about so much more than periods, just acceptance of
natural processes and
processes.
embracing them, getting to know them, getting to know our own nature.
And we're losing well, I mean, now I'm getting into self-sufficiency, and this is a whole other thing. But I mean, it just feels so strange that we as humans have chosen not to really adapt to nature in a way that is like holistic.
Yeah.
Right.
We want to compartmentalize things and just build some infrastructure that is completely detached from nature. Yeah, I'm not saying be a nudist or some crap like that, but I think we do have to rethink these norms that we've set up, and they might not be as sustainable as we think.
For sure. I mean, society has like abstracted itself away from nature and tried to like conquer nature, and there's a bunch of systems that are removed from what our biology evolved in nature. Like our biology evolved in it, working with it, doing it. Like when I go like camping even, and I like cook over a fire, something in me feels good and natural and primal. It takes way longer. It's way harder. You put way more effort into it, but then it feels better to eat it. Like, and we're so far removed from any of that shit.
But naturally processing things, like even just the fact that you can just go and buy a hamburger, it's like, but you couldn't kill a cow yourself. You couldn't even tear through the hide, probably.
No, and probably wouldn't want to be honest.
I would eat berries for the rest of my life. Honestly,
had to kill.
Honestly,
it would be intense. It would hurt. So I guess it's on each individual person to like return as best you can to as much of your nature and like not hold shame for things like girls pooping. Like if it's natural, like fuck, man. Don't have a complex about it, an erotic thing that like you're wrong for just existing.
Yeah. If it makes your life easier, I get it, but if it's not,
I don't know if it's like a thing where it like puts men and women on the same plane, or just like you have, I don't know, really having to take in the feminine. I don't even know exactly what it is. Like, I guess just an ornament. Like that's what women are like. I don't want to do that anymore. But it's really a complicated, even biological process that is slow.
Growing up is a long,
so slow, but it goes so fast.
Yeah, and it's a process of like many different cycles, and nothing's linear. Shit comes back around. Even us sitting here, being back together,
right?
Like,
Strange, yeah.
Strange, man. Like it's a new cycle that's like coming back from the past, and that is what happens in our lives. You come back to maybe a similar point, but you're in a different place. So things land differently, things play out differently. You have a different perspective. And yeah, man, I just like root for all of humanity to keep like being more holistic, integrating more parts of themselves, like all of
more
us,
sustainable products, more like. And then I look at my own waste, and I'm just like, oh, it's all right here, girl. And what do you mean change the world? Change your own kitchen,
man. Oh, did you see the thing where the guy like I think he was like backpacking through somewhere, but he would like every piece or every item that he used, be it a burger, a cup, whatever it was, he took that thing and he would attach it to himself. And before you know it, he's got all this stuff that shows what he was like interacting with, or items that he took on in the trash that he generated.
Yeah, how much single-use
he
trash.
was covered in it, and he's just waddling.
In one day.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, one day I can fill up a fucking trash can. Like, it's crazy, man.
And where does it all go? Some landfill somewhere.
To somewhere I don't see, but has to exist.
Yeah.
Come on, mushrooms. They said they found a mushroom that eats through non-biodegradable plastic. So if that can exist,
but here's the thing. Oh, never mind. Sorry, the bacteria I was thinking about were flesh eating.
Oh, not plastic eating?
No. I mean, now that would help with the whole overpopulation.
I would prefer.
No, it's because in India or someplace, or in Indonesia, somewhere, there were too many like dead bodies being thrown in the river.
Oh yeah,
and so they released a whole bunch of like some kind of fish or so that were flesh eating, but obviously it didn't go well.
But you could have foreseen that one,
right?
It's a movie plot,
pretty obvious,
right?
Let's not put flesh-eating bacteria in the river.
100%.
People
bathe
exist near.
For real.
Yeah. I like that your solution to too much plastic in the world is to have people's skin be eaten off by bacteria.
Flesh-eating bacteria. That's what we need.
That sounds horrifying.
Sounds the most sophisticated. It must be the right thing.
Right?
Yeah, it seems pretty easy to foresee like some of these solutions people come up with. Like, maybe don't fuck with that.
Why can't we just like cremate all the trash?
Have you heard of greenhouse gases?
Just a little bit at a time.
Now it's raining.
No, there are places where they burn trash, but like it's super toxic. So you have to process the smoke then. And I mean, some people don't. They just burn the shit. And it's it's another problem that we have.
There's just no solution to anything.
Well, everything is so connected. Honestly, this is one of the hardest questions that you will have in your adult life is how can I solve this problem without creating more problems? I mean, this is all of our lives. I mean, I come up against it all the time. How can I solve this problem? You have to look into the future. Is this gonna create more problems? And oftentimes your solution is going to, because all of our lives are interconnected. It's really tricky to find solutions that don't create more problems down the line. Like, it's a hard thing to do in life, personally and on a big level.
Humans are giant problem solvers, but we also can be giant problem creators. Like you said.
It is the game we play, babies.
Yeah. I heard this really interesting thing. This woman was like, instead of phrasing it like, what do you stand for, which automatically makes you just the lead character and hero of your own journey, you have to be the most because you're crusading on this thing, which you stand for. More like, where do I fit and how can I show up, and play my part, which I think puts a little bit more power in your hands and a little bit less like outside of your control. You know what I mean?
I love that. I love that. Over the last few years of like so many issues coming to the forefront that are important, so many power dynamics that are fucking out of whack, everyone getting involved in shit. Especially on social media, you can talk about anything, even if it doesn't do anything. You can at least put your opinion out there. I definitely have started to realize some of that is like, hold on, we only have so much bandwidth as humans. You can literally only hold emotion, care for so much shit. It's not unlimited. You have so much you can give your attention and your care to in your life. And like, I have really tried to, I care about the world. I try and stay educated on it, but I really try and know, like, where do I fit? Where is my actual sphere of influence? Where, if I care about something, can I actually impact shit? And where am I just spinning on something that I can't control? That's now giving me anxiety.
You're creating another problem.
Stressing, creating more problems, getting me into shit that doesn't help it. It's a really tricky
thing. And then I
thing.
find that I start to argue just for argument's sake. I do a lot, like, just, well, because it's interesting and it's fun. Like, I don't know. Then I'm just like, it's more about being the lawyer and winning the, like, this. I just hate our losses. I almost can't stand even watching, like, courtroom dramas. It's so stupid.
Where you're arguing the point
You're not even arguing a point. You're arguing around, like. It's just horrible the way people, what you can, I don't know.
Our minds
it makes
are powerful.
Me so upset.
It's all about what you focus on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you like to do that, and I like to do it too. I like to do it with you. Is like, there is a way where you can just like explore an issue without having a bunch of stake in it. However, you get to realize just because you're like dancing in it unhere where you're like not being touched by it.
Yeah, someone is dealing with the repercussions.
Someone's dealing with where it's actually way more in their life and personal. I mean, this is something we're all experiencing as humans right now. It's like, if it's outside your experience, like, can you open up to what it might be like? Can you realize, like, you're able to like dance around and explore the abstracts of an issue, but like for someone else, this might not be that. This might be very real.
The world is changing now. Like not even just Gen Z, but I mean, it's with the internet. I'm so happy that the internet exists because people can actually find resources. How worthy all those resources are, I don't know. And sometimes I find myself on tangents where I'm studying stuff that doesn't freaking matter to my life, and I cannot impact any circumstance. But we're now talking about issues that face other people, and I think the world being more interconnected allows us to at least be conscious of other people's experiences. How do we wrap this one up? What's the close for this episode?
What's the tip for this episode? Teachers don't yell at little baby students.
You will find a lot of teachers in your life. Some of them will make you angry, and some of them will make you smile. But both are equally as valuable.
A good teacher means something to you throughout your life? Like that impacts you? I don't know. What's another one?
Choose the teachers you want to focus on?
Yeah.
Because life is full of teachers.
Yep, there you go.
Sure.
Choose the teachers you want to focus on.
I like that.
Maybe, but...
Also, embrace what's natural.
Oh, yeah, that was kind of one of the points. Yeah. Screw
Ladies, free bleed?
Yes.
Yeah. Honestly, free bleed. It's such a release.
Ned's tip.
You heard
free
it.
Bleed.
Hey, thanks so much for watching this episode of the Declassified Pod. To get even more of our silly antics, go ahead and subscribe to our Patreon.